peoples. Welcome to San Miguel TV, man. Welcome back. Friday night is Friday, June 28th, right? 9:24 p.m. Eastern time. I'm sorry about the tardiness. As always, you know how that goes. But we are here. I see people already here. I'm here. Whoever's here, shout out to you. Let me know what's going on in the comments. I'll make sure I check that. So there we get all the live chats. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a good one tonight. I'm gonna be going over the Hebrew Academy of 2023 in the Icgjc. This is the Hebrew Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. New Hebrew Academy, they're calling it the Neo Hebrew Academy. I think they've been calling it that for about 5 years now, maybe 4 years. I'm not sure. I know that they have to do virtual graduations. So that's what I'm going to be showing you in the screen behind me is the 2023 virtual graduation of the Icgjc. One of the reasons why I'm doing this, and one of the reasons why this particular video caught my eye, which it was produced by the Icgjc at the Passover I believe it was might have been this year's Passover, because they take like 1 year, to produce it or whatever. So I am gonna have a guest in a minute, but we're gonna be talking about this virtual Hebrew Academy, and the reason why it caught my eye is because of how little of the little amount of graduates that there were. Pretty much that like, if you know the Icgjc, they like to talk about how they're sent by God and they have this power, divine power. They're going to bring in a multitude of people. They're working with the power of God. All these things that like supposed to give signs of somebody that's powerful and making a big splash, so to say, out here in the Hebrew Israelite community or in the religious world, recruiting people. You see that the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ is actually not recruiting people at a high level at all. They're recruiting people at a very low level. Actually, it seems to be even worse than they were doing in the early or in the late 2000s. When I remember, I graduated from the Hebrew Academy in 2006. So this was my second Passover. And I guess because it was Florida's first year, there were a lot of brothers that graduated from Florida, in the city of Orlando, Miami, Fort Myers. Those are pretty much the three cities that they go by in the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. I mean, they have this program that it's pretty much it's gonna show like how they recycle members through that program, and these are not new members coming in. So it caught my eye because these people are supposed to be, like big shot, big time, and they talk a lot. They talk, they talk a good one. They talk as if they have so many people coming in of the into the Icgjc, and that's actually not even the case, man. These guys are barely they're not packing in the buildings. They're not filling up the seats. The bigger the building, the more it shows. They have a lot of small buildings. I think Minnesota or OKC is the one that looks pretty small. And what's the other one? Baltimore? I know Miami's tiny. Oh no, Miami got a new building now, but they used to have an old building that was tiny that can barely hold more than like 30 people, but they used to try. um, the Hebrew Academy of 2023 and the Icgjc only had 33 graduates. Out of those 33 graduates, we're going to go through all of them. I'm going to point out the ones that were there already and that already been through the Hebrew Academy. They just got their rank busted, and they have to go back and do it all over again. That's what they make them do. That's how they keep the Hebrew Academy filled up. They recycle the old members. Mr. Russell G. Lewis, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Commenting on the live chat saying it's third grade level at best, maybe as low as second grade. Yeah, I used to be the head of administration. I'm sorry, the head of academics. That's what it is. And I got to see all the test scores, the spelling, the grammar, the bad answers. I got to see all of that in Miami, in Florida, period, the whole state. And it was bad, brother, let me tell you. Russell G. Lewis in the comments says, grown men take years to graduate while young school-age brothers are stuck there until age 18. Yeah, because if you're under 18, right? What is it? No, I think as if you're under 12, you can't get your rank yet. But I don't think you could teach if you're 12 years old and you got some rank. I don't know how that works, but I haven't been there in years. You haven't either. From people that I've spoken to recently that left, I think they still got that same cycle going on. What's good, A Sharp? Yeah, it's a whole program that is very, very, very low level. I mean, you have to learn the books of the Bible, how many books of the Bible there are. You get all the books of the Bible in a row. You have to get them, in order how the KJV shows it at least. These are some of the questions that are asked in the Hebrew Academy. How old was Methuselah when he died? How old was Sarah when she gave birth? There's questions like that that could go into the history. I used to teach the history class. So it'd be questions like that. What's going on, Sweetness Henry? And everybody else in here, welcome. Yeah, I'm gonna go through. I think I'm gonna get this started. I do have a guest coming on, hopefully soon. Mr. Soldier 144. We'll see what happens. I know he's probably getting some things together there. Where am I at? Let me check my battery life. All right, battery's looking good. Volume's looking good. Sorry that this is looking crooked. That's just how I have my thing set up. But I promise you, we're gonna get through it, and it's gonna be a joy, man, to see, because you're gonna see some familiar faces that are back in the Hebrew Academy. People like Russell, you're gonna realize, you're gonna see people. You're gonna be like, that dude is still in there and back in the Hebrew Academy, just graduating again. That's what they do to these brothers, Russell G. Lewis says they forget most of they forget most of what they learn after they graduate. How does someone forget the so-called holy tongue? Most can't read the Hebrew. Yeah, most of them can't read the Hebrew. The vast majority of them can't read the Hebrew. And then when they do read it, they're reading it wrong, so nobody can really read it. But even the fake Hebrew that they made up, they don't even care to learn that. Members in there don't care to speak it on a regular basis fluently with their fellow Hebrews, because these guys are not speaking Hebrew. They don't know, they don't know what they're doing, man. They're not even learning this language that they claim as their own language. It's like they don't even believe it themselves, man. And that's why you see people don't be staying in there, man. I mean, well, let me take that back. People do stay in there. But the few that come in, from the few that come in, there's a lot that leave. So it's like a constant revolving door where you got old members and a foundational few members that come in. But there's foundational members that have been leaving, right? What's his name? Tribe of Asher from Baltimore, Washington, D.C. I forget his name. I always forget how to say his name. It's so long. Then you got people like Zahab, right? Man, he was in there for over 2 decades. You got Kakam, the voice of Israel. Kakam, I forget his name. Kakam Bayan. You got my man Jerome, right? You got Saint Ivan. I mean, these are people that have been in there for more than 2 decades. I was in there for 7 years, just pretty much. Yeah, Yash Ahmad Ba. Yeah, that brother got like 3 decades in this joint, man. He was telling me stories about, handing out flyers way back, man, in the early '90s and all of that, man. Going back to New York City because he's originally from there, I believe. Good brother. Shout out to him. Would love to get you on my channel, sir. As we spoke about a while ago. I know it's been a minute, but get back to me. Somebody let the brother know if you know the brother. Then you got sister Gabar Shara, I believe. Gabar Shiara or Shara, yeah. I forgot. Gabara, I think I'll just call her. She's from Philly. I believe she's from Philly or New York. No, I think she's from New York. Um, I know she might listen to this later. Shout out to you, sister Ola from San Miguel TV. Hit me up so we could do this live because the sister's been wanting to tell her story, and I saw a comment just not too long ago as I was going through my channel, and I haven't been able to respond. I don't know if I even saved your number, sister, but I got your email address. I might send you an email. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get this thing started. This is Hebrew Academy 2023 graduates, but before we do that, I want to welcome Mr.
What's
Soldier
good, brother?
144. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's good, brother? What's good? I
Put
don't
the
know
light.
how I get stuck with these crazy screen names. They just take my whatever my email name is or
Oh,
whatever it is, but we'll rock with it though. It's all good.
yeah, man. Welcome back.
What's
Um, you want to give a little
going
introduction again? I mean, people know who you are, the ones that come here, but for the ones that,
Nah, I'm letting you go, and I'm still pulling up some stuff. I just found me a
yeah,
nice little file. I've been following what you've been saying, so I just
okay,
found a good file of all these dang elementary academy lessons and the syllabuses and all this stuff they had. So I'm
all the
just pulling that up real quick as I'm listening to you real quick.
I remember the
I'm a, I'm
test.
I'm gonna see. Can I flip? Yeah, okay. I gotta see on my camera. Yeah, make sure my camera gets all this stuff, these
Yeah,
little files, these lessons that we used to have to teach up in here. But see, when you was in there, the
yeah,
lessons was a little bit more with busting you and making you a perpetual recruit in the academy, which
right,
makes we need to have a meeting and we need to discuss some orders and the camps is not tight. Just making up stuff to keep
yeah,
brothers around after the academy. We used
right.
to also have Lions dance after the academy, so that was another
Oh,
damn
I
hell dang session.
do that during the workout because, like, in the morning before, like, to get the day started at 9 a.m., I believe it started. We had to do the workout and then the martial arts or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I got the old schedule right now too. I'm about to pull that up.
Because we had a martial arts teacher out here in Orlando. So we started doing like martial arts, um, and I think that was during the. I think they used to squeeze that in during the hour where we used to do the what do you call it? The stepping and all of that, the marching.
Starts in the workout first, the first 2 hours, and then we worked in the law class, and we started from there. So that way the brothers could get there and kind of wake up, yeah, I guess, and get the blood flowing and all that, and then they would come in into class after that.
Yeah. But then the recruits, it looks like they have a different schedule under there.
Yeah, that's when they started opening up recruitment schedule. Like I said, this is the new Hebrew Academy. So this is all 2012 and beyond these schedules. So this ain't
Okay,
the same stuff you was in there with.
okay, gotcha.
So yeah, so when the ranks started getting low, they started saying, no, we got to start. What's the point of having an academy with 2 and 3 brothers in there when we need to be going out and recruiting? So they would break down certain classes and go out from 145 until go out
Yeah,
and do unit work trying to bring people into the academy. You remember the new Hebrew Academy flyer or when they just had the Hebrew Academy flyer
right.
and it had like the two black Madonnas up on there holding Christ and the Hebrew Academy, and there's a program in our church and all that. That
Yeah.
still,
Wow. I gotta find that.
yeah, I might still have that too. I'm
I was thinking when they were talking about the second witness, I was thinking they're probably gonna push him into the forefront, but I don't think he's ready for all of that. I don't know.
I don't know. It's not that hard. I mean, if you still in there right now, it's not that hard to take advantage of whoever's up in there right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
That dude is so gone. I mean, the way he tells the story of him seeing the angel, I should have posted that thing too. I,
I thought dang Tazapawan was gonna grab it, that he was gonna take it and say, "All right, listen, I got all the dirt up on the boss. If y'all
yeah.
don't give me a top spot up in here, look, I'm spilling all the beans.
Wow.
I don't get it for the life of me what Tazapawan feels someone has over him."
Yeah, I don't know. Tzazapawan seems to be like just going along with it and getting fooled just like everybody else. I called him up one time years ago because his number kept coming up everywhere I looked in the public records and the property and whatever the rental properties. It was always Lincoln Warrington's name and number. So I called it and he was like, "I'll never go against the ICGJC, the Israelite Church of God."
You had to master breaking down these lessons just like you're watching a DVD, just like everything else. That's what's like amazing me. Everything you start looking at these lessons. I'm just trying to pull up a couple real quick while you getting some of your stuff ready, because these curriculums and all that started being taught was just like, we're not bringing forth any fruit, and it's too much frivolous nonsense for the brothers to even remember.
Right. Yeah.
You start looking at these the questions that's being asked. It's just like, all right, bro, this is kindergarten stuff, and y'all still can't get this.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, here it goes. I done found some of the tests now.
What year did you graduate?
We didn't have our graduation in Minneapolis when we had we came up under the three test graduation. You remember, because we were, like I said, myself and a couple other brothers, we were first generation Minneapolis Israelites. So we had
Oh,
the three test rules. Remember, you had the soldiers test, the officer of 50, and then the officer 100. So that
yeah.
would have been what year was that? 2001, 2003. Yeah, that would have been 2003. I got the officer 100.
Okay.
And then afterwards we got damn suckered into captain of the 10,000 rank, and that's when the whole shit show began. From that point, once you felt you got some real rank and they're holding that over your head, that's when the real programming comes.
Right. Oh yeah. Why? I'm gonna just play this Hebrew Academy thing then. Um, this is a virtual Hebrew Academy 2023. So I guess this came out this year, and they put that up on their thing. But let's
You
play this.
said there was 33 people that graduated from the Hebrew Academy
Yeah, we could
out of
count.
all the churches.
Yep. I'm gonna tally it up. And also I'm gonna tally up how many people I recognize as old members. You could kind of tell too, because I mean there might be
How
some new.
many did Minneapolis had? You showed me one. How many did Minneapolis have?
I think it was only one or two.
Oh, that was one.
Yeah, Orlando
So,
had
so
zero.
top officer Matawan is top officer again. I think this is his third time.
I don't know, man. He used to be the what, bishop or chief priest?
He was a bishop and a chief priest.
Wow.
Matawan is one of those. He's one of them brothers, and every church has him. Just one of those good yes men. But one of them brothers that's really not with all the rah rah, there's no way you're gonna you could picture him having dang a bunch of white people on shackles and chains, brother, whipping their backs. He's just not that type of dude.
All
And
right.
you had a lot of brothers like that was not on that bloodthirsty barbarian take over the world Israelite doctrine, but they just got caught up in there. He's one of them brothers.
A Sharp asked, "Did Basil graduate in 2023?" Nah, He didn't graduate. He probably came in too late at the end of the year. You know, you got to make up. You can't make up all them tests. Once you miss about half or more than half or something, like you can't graduate. I remember
No,
brothers.
they got the extra credit program.
Yeah,
The new Hebrew Academy accelerated the extra credit program so you could graduate on time, brother. So, through the wisdom of the Holy God sent Comforter, he put in extra work to keep you in extra class so you could graduate, brother.
that's
You
crazy.
got you got to correct that, brother. You gotta
All right,
apologize for putting out the wrong understanding.
all right, my bad. Let me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tally this thing up actually with the graduates and the new graduates. All right. So I'm gonna play this joint.
Oh yeah.
Damn, bro, I'm so happy because I'm damn miserable most of the damn time, bro. The New Hebrew Academy graduation 2023. This guy. Congregation of the nations of Israel, at this time, we present to you the graduates of the New Hebrew Academy for the
So
year
you have default Hebrew Academy recruits, pretty
coming out of
much.
the city of Miami, Florida. Miami. Officer of 100.
He's
So
old. He used to be a chief priest.
yeah, the Rockba Moth, he used to be a chief priest.
Yep, he made it to chief priest status. He
He
got
came,
called into a special session because there was some situation where a new fruit came into class and he accused the brother of looking like a cop or something like that. And he got pulled into a special session. That was a crazy special session, boy.
oh yeah. He
Yeah.
I was actually his teacher in the Hebrew Academy when he first graduated. He was a pretty decent student. He used to drive up. I remember him. He was pretty cool. I
Cool
mean, I
brother.
never really got to know him that well. But he definitely was one of the smarter ones and one of the more disciplined ones. But I can't believe he's back in the Hebrew Academy because he graduated back in like '09.
Yeah, he was a chief priest when I was up at 2019. He was still a chief priest.
Right. So like this is not a big like I mean you're gonna
So
see
so
this
strike one. The first graduate is a
the only graduate,
recyclable.
I think in all of Florida.
Yeah,
Uh
so that a recycled officer right there.
yeah. Let's see what
So
else we
not a new recruit,
yeah, that
but but yet he'll be reported as a man that joined the Hebrew Academy. Like if he were to get busted and get put into the Hebrew Academy, they would
yeah,
report him as someone new that joined the Hebrew Academy.
exactly. Yeah. That's what constantly happens up in there though.
Like
Uh
why? How is that not seen as l- not making progress when you have men that are being demoted and thrown back in the academy? I mean, that's not progress.
right. Yeah, it's all yeah, like that's why this is called the Hebrew Academy Recycling Program. This is I mean this guy too right here. This is another Miami dude. So I guess he was number two. Um, Dawayad.
Another familiar.
He's the second half to that Illusions dancing group with Shalama.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
not this cat, but Dr.
But
Wine.
he's another recyclable too, though. He looks familiar
Yeah,
too, the
so
one
he's
you
another
just
recyclable.
showed.
Yeah, he's another recyclable. He was there. Him and Shalama came in like maybe '07. Yeah, somewhere around '07 maybe. And this cat, he had a girl that went to school in Bethune Cookman College. It was an all black, all black girls school, or women's college
Yeah.
in Daytona Beach. I used to drive out. They used to make me drive out to Daytona Beach to go pick this brother's wife up. He used to ask me, and I would do it. But
Mm.
he used to push me. Like he used to be like, "Oh, ask her what Makapash." I used to go out to Daytona, which is like an hour and a half from here. Pick the sister up, bring her to class. Then at 10:30 or 11, when the class ends, I got to go drive her back and then drive back home.
Now,
You know,
Florida, y'all's whole shit was just a big mess, though. When it came that whole, I never understood y'all's system. Like, all right, these brothers are scattered in about 20 different little towns all over Florida. and
Yeah.
just all combined together. Between what, Orlando and Miami, pretty much.
Yeah, they would just call like I don't know how they got Fort Myers and West Palm, because Fort Myers I think right now only has like 5 brothers or 5 members maybe. You know, all of like Fort Myers bounced pretty much, a good chunk of it. Then you got West Palm Beach was like Mild Walker Common and another brother. That's it. It was only like 2 or 3 brothers, and they would just kind of like merge that with Miami, so it would all be like South Florida. So when they have like Officer of 100 Dawa Yard from Miami and Dawa Barma, I think they're just taking people from Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers, Miami, and West Palm Beach, and that's all South Florida. But when it comes to Orlando, it's like all the brothers are pretty much in the same area in Orlando. But
Right.
this brother
See,
had a wife that was
they
going to
used to
school.
they used to sell it to us like each one of these places just had a little sanctuary and temple where people was meeting. I was like, the more you got to talking to brothers, like, damn, y'all ain't even got no church in y'all's area.
Yeah, yeah. Orlando didn't have a church until when I got there in 04, 05. That's when we first got the church. They didn't have nothing for years. And Tazadaki literally taught a class in Brooklyn Outlaws crib, in Brooklyn Outlaws apartment. That's a brother that used to be in the cult too in Orlando. When I came in, he was in.
Right.
It was a little apartment, man. This cat was in the living room, like I'm talking about a small apartment in the hood. And then after that, he said, "Oh, don't worry, the Lord's gonna start making changes." And then you saw,
Exactly.
then we got the building. Then they sent Dahawam out. They sent Rashwan first.
Well,
Then they,
the high priest of states had to come and handle business real quick.
yep. That's how the Hebrew Academy got set up in 05 in Orlando.
Well, back then, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Back then, they still had grassroots levels where they would actually be able to build a church and raise up men, send people to areas, teach a certain understandable doctrine. But what started being taught after 2012, you just saw like everything this dude was setting up was just counterproductive to bringing in fruit because it was all about him.
Right. Well, okay, let's keep it going. So this is the second dude right here.
Another recyclable.
Yeah, this is another recycle.
So check off the another next recyclable. We're gonna see how many new people is
Yeah, yeah.
actually on this list. And this can't include this new people doesn't include a kid that was born and raised in there and grew up and got thrown in the academy.
That's another thing too. That's the thing. It's like that's what fills up the Hebrew Academy. There was probably like 2 or 3 really new members, and you can tell because they'll have like a name like Robert Gilbert, Re-
Exactly.
recruit Robert Gilbert. But yeah, let me play it then.
Officer of 100, Tower Yard.
Our Yah.
Officer of 100, my young love, Napash.
I don't know who this cat is right here. Mayan Lab Napash.
Haven't seen him either.
I've never seen him before. So that's number 3, but I'm gonna put him in the middle somewhere, maybe a question mark, because
You gotta put a question mark for him. So
yeah,
somebody might know. I'm like, no, that I know that dude. He been there since 2008.
yeah. If anybody recognizes them in the comments, let me know, because there's gonna be some people that y'all recognize. For sure. I was surprised to see them, but okay, so that's 3.
Coming out of the city of Oklahoma.
So it was 3 out of Miami. That's it,
Right.
and
That's crazy.
at least 2 of them were are recyclables. So
I mean, this right here is just showing you how 2012 failed miserably. The
yeah,
academy, all you have to do is look at the academy graduates of 2023, and this shows you how 2012 failed miserably, fell
right,
on its face.
man. I remember when we used to do.
Where we
Remember
should be seeing 100 Reubenites right now graduating from Florida right now,
at least 100.
and at least another
Yeah,
dang 100 Manessites right now.
yeah,
Miami, come on.
yeah, yeah. Florida should be packing in the Reubenites and the Manassites, and they're not. Like it was like 3 brothers, and one of them was a goddamn child molester. That's law. That's law. I know he was Manessa. Yeah, it was like maybe 3 brothers, man. I think Rapayala Kakam was Manessa, or Batazal Allah rather. And now they losing all these brothers.
Well, you got to say when you say child molester though, you get to say active or ex. So like I said, there's some brothers in there with some heavy baggage up under them. We
Yeah.
forgot that we was getting brothers straight from the prison system in some of these churches as well too.
Oh yeah.
Brothers that really should not have been around children at all. Like it would have been a parole violation had their PO checked up on them at the church.
Right. Wow. Look at that. No, there were definitely some in Miami for sure. Miami was a lot of trouble, man. There was always a lot of weird stories coming out of Miami.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Let me see here. So now they got Oklahoma City. You might recognize some people.
Oh yeah, they probably.
Officer of 100, Amath Natasakia.
Amath Zakia. That's number
Oh,
4.
okay. See, I can't really speak. Not for him. He's not too familiar.
No,
But the camera will mess up these little dang AI dang photos they done took. You never know.
those are those are the photos they make them take for graduation and shit. They be telling them, "You got to stand up against this wall, brother." After class, all the brothers got to take pictures. I
Them
don't know.
is probably just their recycled passport pictures they taken and just
Yeah,
transferred over beyond to another screen.
this is probably the same photo they used to do the monthly reviews and all of that. You know, yeah, because whoever's the chief priest or whatever, whoever's over the state or the city, they have to do monthly reviews and hand it up to New York every month. Right? I don't know, quarterly now, whatever.
Yep. I wonder how much it cost them to graduate from the academy now. They had to find a way to charge them something up on this. Like, no, this is costing us virtual, brothers. Y'all got to kick in some type of virtual Hebrew Academy fee or something. So
Yeah, you got to pay for the
they,
Wi-Fi.
they put in too much dang graphic and CGI into this to not find a way to charge these brothers an extra.
Yeah, they got let me get close up on that. They got the nice little knights.
I tell you that there's unicorns running around. They're just too fast for us to be able to catch them. Can still see they're young too at that too.
Yeah. And then so now they're going to North Carolina. It'd be nice if they did this in alphabetical order. I don't know why they're getting the order down like this. It should have been Baltimore first, maybe. I don't know. Baltimore, I
They
think
got they got to start giving some of the other churches a little bit of shine. They always made the further out churches seem like outcasts for a while. So now
yeah.
they got to be more inclusive with the further out of state churches because it's always been the New York, Baltimore, Philly kind of clique thing, and the other churches was always seen as y'all are the can't get right churches and you got
Yeah.
to get around New York more and the tri-state area to get more in order. They always pushed on us like that.
Orlando and Miami were probably right behind because they were
Exactly.
brothers just like waiting in the wing with no Hebrew Academy for years, just waiting. And then that same year I came in, I started seeing brothers just coming in. It was a weird year.
Look,
Like
brother,
2004 was
just,
big.
just say it. Y'all had a lot of brown nosed niggas down there that New York took a liking to. So that's why they started bringing y'all in a little bit like, hold on. These
Yeah.
brothers are coming in here and numbers them as dollar signs.
Yep.
So when
Yep.
they were seeing those numbers, they were going to pay attention to you. Oklahoma City was kind of like that. Taz just didn't like coming out to Oklahoma City like that because it was so far out.
Yeah. I could see that. That's why.
So he still gave them their props. And then when our numbers came up a little bit, he would give a little bit of props, but we had a black eye on us with our former leadership that
Mm,
just left a stain on us with Minnesota for a while.
right. Uh,
When them ties lied and said like we were doing the order of Melchizedek up there, which a brother was doing some dang stupid shit up here, but it wasn't necessarily the full order of Melchizedek. And once
uh,
he said that, and you heard the other chief priests and bishops like gas in the major conference, we was
mm,
kind of shunned from that point on to a certain extent.
see, I had no clue what was going on in Minnesota. I didn't really. You know, it just seems so far out there.
I mean, Minnesota, it was like I said, I was just telling. So Minnesota, it started out cool. It started out as just a bunch of damn Negroes that didn't know what the hell they was talking about with the Bible, coming together on your own free will and thinking you're learning something, but it wasn't. You got to be here or die, and then you better join these ranks or die. Don't pay your tights, you're gonna die. You wasn't getting all that. It was more so of this is who you are. This is what we got to come back to do until about 2004. Yeah, about 2003, 2004.
What's
And
crazy
we
that
all know that's when that's when everything changed across the board.
like what really stands out to me is that by this point you should have a church in Atlanta. You
I
should
was
have
just
a church
telling somebody that.
in Detroit. Like
Houston, Texas. You don't
Houston,
have a church in Houston, Texas. All major cities, you
yeah,
don't have churches in.
right. Oakland.
Los Angeles, you had a church there and lost it. And
Yeah,
you can't blame the people like he started doing. He started blaming the people. IUIC has went to all these cities and set up churches. Every
right.
last one of the cities we name, they have a congregation there or
Yeah.
definitely a temple there.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Even GMS has like I mean, at least they have some type of gathering of brothers that represent the city at least online. So there's some type of presence, even if it's not that big. Because I see that with GMS. You know, GMS won't get that many views, but then you got like Sakari Atlanta. Sakari
Yeah,
Atlanta, huge. That's where the Jagged Edge dude is in right now.
they got that jagged edge up in their church brainwashed.
Yeah, they got Brian Casey from Jagged Edge, the
Like
one of the twins.
2012, you were supposed to be seeing men with shields of David on their neck in the ICGJC, though. They weren't supposed. The prophecy is not that they're people are going to wake up and be in other Israelite congregations. That wasn't the teaching.
And I won't expect like a church up in Iowa or something like that, even though there are black people there. But you got churches or you got cities with like the major cities like full of like
Chicago. How is there not a church in Chicago where it would be needed the most?
right. I mean Detroit, I know Detroit, Memphis, Baton Rouge, lots of African Americans there, man.
But I'm gonna just say this: Taz was a psychopath, but he was not as dumb as people thought. There's certain areas where he just knew not to go to. Like I said, brothers, they had an issue in Chicago, in Minnesota, where they tried to stop in Chicago. The brother that graduated, they on this thing, took
Yeah.
the brothers in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods he could have told going to get some gas, of course. And he took these, not realizing the street codes in Chicago is different than anywhere else. You can't
Yeah.
just go anywhere in Chicago with shields of David on and all that in Chicago.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. And this brother took them to a straight opposition neighborhood. And I guess they can put it that way. Thank God the police rolled through the parking lot when they did. Because if not,
Wow.
these brothers probably about to get stripped down out of the rental and everything.
Damn.
They got out talking about, do you know the Lord Jesus Christ, trying to hand these vice lords damn flyers. And them
Right.
dudes told them, we don't know about no Jesus Christ, but we know about these AKs and cemeteries. And the police ended up rolling through, like right as about 20 of these dudes were surrounding the brothers.
Right. Right.
Now, the delusion they're going to tell you is, you see, the Lord sent the angels to protect us, brother, and sent the police to back them up off us. That might have been the case, but it definitely your incompetence is what got you in the situation, not your wisdom.
And that's that was the chief priest at the time of Minnesota.
Yeah, that was the chief priest at the time of Minnesota. I wasn't with the brothers at the time. I just heard about that later. Like, brother, you took them where and why?
How far is Chicago from Minnesota, man?
Uh, about 6 hours if you speed in, 8 hours if you're doing
Damn.
regular, yeah, the speed limit.
Okay. All right. So
And I
OKC.
say that because that's a fast. For some reason, everybody drives that strip fast as hell getting to Chicago. Well, I know why, but yeah.
All right. All right. So let's get back to North Carolina now. Let's see.
Officer of 100. Tawab.
Tawab Parya.
That's a familiar one right there. He's been around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nobody new.
Nobody knew. Wow. I mean, this is 2023, man. Like, these are just recycled brothers, man. Just being recycled and making like to beef up the Hebrew Academy or something. Like, I feel
Eh,
like thinking about that earlier, and I was like, I could see Taz and different people just like taking away rank from people just to fill up the Hebrew Academy again. Because I remember one year Orlando, like everybody graduated, and then the next year we had a few brothers, and then once all of them graduated, then we only had like 2 or 3 brothers in Orlando. And if Miami didn't come up, then it was really empty. And then you started
yeah,
seeing brothers get their rank taken away, and now they're filling up the seats. So
yep,
like, yeah, this Hebrew Academy program, and I don't know how the Dozy program used to work at all. I just remember my cousin.
yeah.
Uh,
That was all online. They were trying to get it set up where the sisters actually had to come into, the temple, but most churches weren't big enough to have the Hebrew Academy going, then a separate class for the sisters going, then they want something for the young men and women too. And
yeah,
we know that would have turned into total chaos too.
yeah, that would have been
I
mad.
mean, they had the manpower at one time to do all that stuff, but eventually this dude just let all that stuff just slip through the cracks.
A
But
Sharp asked a question on the comments saying, asking, were there any new churches set up after 2003 under Taz, or did they all exist? Huh,
ooh,
that's a good question. I mean, Orlando.
Allentown in
Okay,
Ohio. You got to give you those were the only two churches that you can say that were set up like new after Tiles was Allentown in Ohio.
but is Ohio still even a thing today?
They still got probably some members rolling around in Ohio somewhere. They had a decent amount of brothers down in Ohio.
Like Orlando was ready in 2003, but then we didn't get the church officially till about early 2005, maybe late 2004. Um
Yep.
so,
And also when I say decent amount of brothers, a decent amount of brothers for ICGJC congregation, you give about 15 to 20 ranks, like
yeah,
active men. That's where you got enough manpower to kind of work with and do something.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of these churches you're looking at, like you're not even going to see any graduates from Omaha because they ain't got no members.
Yeah.
You got
Same.
you got Nawak and maybe the other brother, Tahawam Ayan in there, maybe. And then
Okay.
a couple women and kids.
Yeah. That's it. It's like even when I was in there, I think '04 was a big recruiting year, '05, '06, and '07. I remember like seeing, all right, like we're doing something.
Everything was growing there in those years. It was like that all across the board. And people got to pay attention to just the time we were in. We were coming fresh out of 2000. Knowledge was what people was looking for and all that. That was a different woke type movement that was going on during then. A lot of that self-identity stuff was popping. You had us, you had 5%ers out there, a lot of people.
Hmm.
So
Uh,
that's the era we're in now, where people is woke. They can go to they don't even need www dot no more. Just type in ICGJC and all the dirt comes up where they can see like, oh, this place is full of shit.
Russell G. Lewis says Taz tried to get the brothers killed in Philly by going against the black Muslims. A brother got his wig split and requires stitches and staples. Wow.
The Muslim conflict. Yeah, them brothers got damn whooped down with baseball bats out there, talking mess with the Muslims
I remember that.
in Philly. Yeah, we didn't. He didn't call. That's amazing. He didn't call Minnesota, but he did. Use the manpower in like Bmore and Philly and all that. And they went down there looking, talking tough, but didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah.
Because know why? It's no different. And the brothers in Minnesota, when they watch this, they know it's no different up here when they got beat down by some Baptists up here. They got the same beat down in about 2019 by some Baptist church. Reverend McAfee them came out and his church came out and mobbed the brothers up here in Minneapolis. There was no cavalry sent from New York to come up and surround the Baptist church and all that. These brothers was out there getting strangled and it was ridiculous. Once
Jesus.
again, I wasn't out there. This was all under this other brother's leadership. Is when all this stuff happened. So,
A
and it's
sharp.
like I said last night. Look at how many of these brothers get busted, taken out of their positions. In real armies, you eventually get court-martialed when you just mess up too much. Like when you're just F up, they don't just keep on recycling you back into the army. They show you're an unfit soldier. You're not fit for the military. These
Right.
brothers will take brothers that show that they cannot get right and just keep throwing them back into the academy, which shows you it's not an honor to be in there. It's a punishment. You messed up,
Yeah.
so you get thrown back in the academy. Do you
Right.
get thrown back in basic training when you mess up in a real military?
Right. Yeah, that's how he
No,
plays. Like
they throw you out when you mess up too bad in a real military.
that's
You're
true.
still a part of the nation or your country. You just can't serve in the military no more.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
But that shows you how it's not a real nation. What nation is there where all of your citizens are in the military?
Mm.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
that makes no sense. Where are your teachers and your
That's
engineers,
like
your doctors, and everything else? Everyone's a general, a captain, or an officer, or at least a
yeah.
soldier.
That's a dictatorship. Like you
Yeah,
require.
that's North Korea.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You require all your male. Exactly. North Korea. That's why there's like a what's that one group? B2. No, what was that? I forget that one Asian, that North Korean group. Like you got, even in South Korea, I believe you got to join the army once you get a certain age. It's like it's no
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Uh,
no. Everyone has to serve some time in the military in North Korea, and actually a lot of those countries.
yeah, they give you a discharge. The brother said, Mega says, in military they even give you a discharge, dishonorable discharges, and all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you
This stuff, they just gonna keep using the same old dang soldiers. This dude got friendly fire up under his belt and everything, and you still got him in, and now about to promote him too.
yeah, yeah. All right, let's go to North Carolina. So this is North Carolina now. This is the sixth brother, Officer of 100, Tawab Parya. That means good Parya. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Parya is like fruit or something. Like, yeah, good fruit.
Fruit. That's right. That's right. That's like a
See,
part.
like I said, that comes from me having to teach that false Hebrew class. Like you can make up a language because that's what we did with the Lashuan Kodash. We made up a language using old Hebrew characters, and we made our own sounds, like Pig Latin. I mean, that's what
Uh,
we did. We made our
that's
own
like
dang
that's the word.
21st century Hebrew Latin,
Yeah, that comes from
Heblish.
that's like Ephraim, right? Aparium, Ephraim, right?
Yep,
That,
Aparium. Yeah.
all
In
right.
which most of these brothers can't read and remember Hebrew to save their life. Like I said, when you teach
Yeah.
this nonsense, it'll stay in you a little bit. But yeah, good fruit.
You got Officer of 100 part Tawab part, yeah. That's it for North Carolina. Now, oh yeah, look, there's Ohio now. Okay. So you only had one dude from North Carolina. That's crazy. One person
Like I
graduated.
said, just like you said, how do you
It's not
not have a church?
hard to
How do you not
graduate.
have a full church in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Right.
Historic Charlotte, North Carolina. You have no church there.
That's crazy.
You
Yeah.
got one in where is it? Wilmington? Like Wilmington is like country farm,
Yeah.
like Wilmington is not a big city like that. That's like the country sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. Charlotte is more into the is
It's
like
more
for
totally urban. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
the South, but it's urban. It's a major
right.
city.
Yeah. So then they went. So I mean, and it's not hard to graduate. So the people that are graduating is probably the only ones that were in the academy. Um. So now Ohio. Let's see.
Officer of 100. Icgjc.
He's definitely he's a recycle.
He's a recycle one.
He's definitely recycled.
Yeah, man. See, there's like, let me see. Yeah, there's like, what did I say? 33 graduates, and I think about half of them are recycled brothers. Let's see.
Officer of 100, Za'ab Wa Gabar.
I recognize him,
Yeah, I
but
recognize.
there's only
He looks familiar for
but the
sure.
name sound is like I said, these names sound all familiar. But we could definitely speculate hard and say you're probably recyclable. It's a strong
Yeah.
80 to 90% chance that's a recyclable. We doing the
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm not gonna get the accurate number, but so
we're
this.
gonna be close though.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This is Ohio.
Za'ab Wa Gabar.
Who's next? Who's
Coming
next?
Shoot.
out of
Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Officer of 100.
Maka one.
And
Maka
my brother up there just looking like damn Enor off damn Winnie the Pooh, brother. Just depressed as all hell, damn. Just ridiculous.
He does not look happy, man.
They did not look happy at all, man. You look damn half petrified and just half depressed.
Yeah, I'll
And that
definitely.
brother, he's too old to be working and doing in that position that he's in. That brother's an older brother too. He's not like our age. He's not like us. That
Yeah,
brother's up there a little bit.
I could tell. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you can't, but yeah. So
And like
so
I said,
the
that's
gra-
one that's one of them examples where you got the partnered damn captives up in there, where you got that wife that's in there and she's so into it where even if you were thinking about leaving, you know that she's so brainwashed, she's going to talk you back into it. It's just going to be a whole nother struggle and headache. That's his situation all day.
that's crazy.
Where he's looking like I want to get the hell up out of here. That's what his face is screaming on this picture. But he would catch hell with his woman if he said, "Babe, I think we're not in the truth."
Hmm.
That's his situation. But yeah,
Yeah.
he caught hell under the brothers after because he's just one of them more mild ass brothers. So I know they was them old juggernaut brothers in there. They didn't want to take orders from him
Yeah.
after the smoke cleared in 2019. So he got busted like 6 months after I was out of there, and they raised up more default chief priests. That's why I say these are all default positions. Like these brothers ain't even earning these positions anymore. You're just being shuffled around like in a washing machine, and
Right.
whatever comes out first gets
Right.
put in position.
Right. It's like if a major league player, baseball player, gets injured, and you got to bring somebody up out of nowhere from the minors. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're all brand new, and it's like just
And
to fill the position. Yeah, because
and
somebody's.
that's the problem. None of the men that's being pulled off of the bench are really thoroughly trained. That's why the church is just crumbling because you stop training the men, even in the fake doctrine. You
Right.
stop training them up in it. Now it's just all about this Taza doctrine nonsense. That's really
Yeah.
not. It's only set up for the people that's in there to worship him. So anyone on the outside hearing this is like, man, you want me to come in and worship this dude? Like people see this a mile away now, and that's why the ICGAC is the main
Yeah.
church of these BHI camps that's not growing.
Yeah, they should be growing. I mean, it's so easy right now. It seems with these groups, like these groups just be lying, saying whatever, just being provocative, and they're getting these people. But it could,
Nathaniel has perfected the pimping. That's I say that to a T. Nathaniel has perfected the pimping when it comes to the BHI doctrine.
yeah,
He's understood like don't exalt yourself to the man God worship. Just teach the script the way we got it. Act all confident and cocky like we can't be touched.
yeah,
Market it yourself well because that dude has excellent marketing and production. I'm like,
he has
these
good
dudes have
work.
taken this thing and turned it into a movie.
And they're doing real Feast of Tabernacles. They're actually going out and doing the real Feast of Tabernacles. There's no excuses. I mean, come on.
Thank you. That's where they got people like, All you have to do is read what's in there and act like you're doing it to a T and criticize everyone else. I mean,
Right.
that's not that law they be talking about with the fringes on your shirts and all that stuff. If you want to
Right.
get technical, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Pretty much. Yep. Yeah.
So
They
yeah,
used to.
they see it. They
I,
made the Feast of Tabernacles look like damn Six Flags, where people like, damn, I actually want to get out and get on the jet ski and all that stuff they do it out there too. Our family day picnics was horrible.
right.
That
Yeah.
another day, like I said, we out there eating
Oh,
old Simics prepackaged burgers,
yeah.
soggy hot dog wieners. Like, how do you have grilled soggy hot dog wieners? Like, where's the crunch and the snap at on the hot dog? That was crazy. I'm
Yeah.
surprised more people didn't get sick off of that food they were serving us at them picnics.
I'm sure people did because, um, I mean, there it was cheap food. It tasted horrible. I remember, just like you said, the prepackaged burger meat. It was,
All the pop you could drink. That was it. All the pop you could drink.
yeah.
Damn water out of them contaminated old jugs and all that that you pouring little cheap cups out of and all that. And then you looking at this nigga in the yonder at his big circus tent out there grilling ribs and all types of stuff on his damn old school Oklahoma uh grill out there. I'm like, this is crazy because I tried to grill out there and they damn security surrounded me like the Secret Service. I got my own little portable grill off in the cut, trying to
Right.
just grill me some lamb ribs. They run up on me, a chief priest. You can't grill out here, so I can say, orders by the God sent company. I'm like, look at this nigga over here with a big 50-gallon barrel grill out
Right.
here grilling up about 3 ribs for himself and his little escorts that he probably got going in and out the tent and all that. I was like, this is crazy,
And
man.
the events were like really basic. Like we would have like arm wrestling contests. I think there was like a sack race or something. What do you call that?
See? I tried to implement if we gonna have a family day picnic, why can't we do a national grill off and then all the best grillers in the nation come together and grill up? We can even let the apostles be the judges.
Wow, that's a
But of
good
course
idea.
they shot that down because it would have costed them more money.
Yeah, I remember like the day of these picnics. It would be hot as hell, and they would never get a shady park. We always have to be somewhere out in the open, getting the blistering sun. Then it would be like, okay, let's do, and all the events required us like to sweat and be outside and do some like, like it was never any like we got it together at the last second. It wasn't like real organized like that. It wasn't tent set up for the people. It was just one gazebo and one grill, that's in a public park where if we hopefully we get there in time early enough so we could get that because you can't reserve it, you have to just get there early.
See,
Um
later they started renting out the what is it, Liberty Park in New Jersey, I think, like Edison, New Jersey. Yeah,
okay.
so they'd rent out Liberty Park, and that thing was then, of course, sitting on a lake. So you'd have damn security out there getting ate the hell up by mosquitoes off in the cut. Like they had brothers out there on nonsense too. Like you're literally out in the back swamp, damn, guarding nothing the
Right.
whole time on security while you hearing the concert off yonder across the park. Like I used to just feel sorry for brothers. I'd be like, damn, if
Yeah.
I wasn't in my position, they would have me out there. If they could, they'd have me out there guarding something on some nonsense. But they'd be like, no, whether you due to your position, we can't have you on security. But technically, every chief priest is supposed to do security. I'm like, brother, y'all
Yeah.
can say that. I'm seeing my brother come back down with mosquito bites all over him and literally would be forgot
Like
about.
to Miami, like I remember when we had family day picnics in Miami, I was like, after a while, this ain't even worth it. Like you said, IUIC's jet skiing, zip lining, and shit. Like we weren't doing none of that, man. We
None
were
of that.
wrestling contests.
What happened to the days of what is it, mirth and gladness? Between that and Hanukkah, you just seen more and more how everything started going downhill. It started
Yeah,
being cheap. But it's like I said, you're seeing them do it and they're marketing it right, where people's looking like, okay, they're doing it right.
man. And then these sisters. that are pregnant, they got to be out there, and you can tell they don't even want to be there. People just hot sitting around. It
Oh
was
yeah, because
while I was
yes,
like horrible.
it's all forced. And like I said, there's no accommodations. You've had that where people done passed out from damn near heat stroke and all that out there.
Oh
The
yeah.
Liberty Park one, they upped it up a little bit, but you could tell that we couldn't even fill the park. I mean, there was all types of dead spaces and all that. Like, we don't even need a park this big because we're not even filling up the park. And then the congregation is looking at it every year and saying, "Dang, it seemed like there was more people here last year." That they was
Hmm.
constantly saying that at Passover, the summer jams, and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I could see that. They're not showing the graduations. They're not showing the Passovers anymore like they used to. Every year, that was like a thing that the ICGJC used to do. At least they'll put that up on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, because you
I didn't.
can't brag about having the biggest Passover anymore. That was Tazadakia. That was his damn bread and butter line. We hold the biggest Passover in all of the world, even bigger than that of the so-called Jew. You can't say that anymore. IUIC's Passover is bigger than yours. GOCC's Passover is bigger than yours. I even will say ISUPK's, the refurbished version. Their Passover is bigger than yours.
The Neo ISUPK.
Yeah, you have to put that out there because Johanna be lying. Wait, they put that out there boldly, like they are the original ISUPK. It's like you was just lying your ass off. Like we sat in 1 West 125th Street before it got turned into Applebee's and all that. We
Yeah,
remember the stairs of death, them steep ass stairs that they had to carry me up there. And I'd
mm,
be praying that these brothers didn't hit no water or nothing on them stairs. So I was like, this is gonna hurt if we go down these stairs. But we
yeah,
remember them stairs. Like you niggas have
yeah.
never touched you've never touched foot on the soil, like they like to say. And out there, yeah, 1 West, 1 West. 1 West is what is it now? It was Applebee's last time I was there, and I think it's something else now.
I forget, man. It was an Applebee's, and I think it became like an In-N-Out burger or Smash Burger or something like that. One of those.
Mm.
I forgot what
Yeah,
they.
I'm actually going to get back to New York eventually pretty soon. I
Yeah,
actually got to go there. New York, as much as I don't like y'all city,
yeah.
it is good when you can go there without being under slavery. Because like the times
Oh,
I stayed back in New York and found some stuff to do, like real stuff, like
yeah,
actually go to the museum and go to a real restaurant, that the little $5 rice guys that you was forced to eat at in the church and all that. You can't eat here, right? You can't eat there, right? Nope, they disrespect the apostles here, right? So when you could actually go and eat where you wanted to and travel around, New York was cool.
yeah. Because you probably got a whole image in New York. I'm like that with Miami. Like I hate Miami, and I think part of that is because when we used to have to go out there for the family day picnics or the recruit missions, I just dreaded it, man, because it's like that long ride, and then now I got to be out there, and we got to be in the damn third world country looking neighborhoods, handing out flyers, and nobody wants to talk to
Oh,
us.
Overtown and all that.
They just want cocaine and heroin. They don't want no flyers. Like
Yeah.
Miami's crazy. So I don't like it. I never liked it. Even to this day, I don't like Miami, man. I don't even care to visit unless the Mets are in town playing the Marlins. Other than that, but yeah, New
That
York, I'll be back up there this year. I
Now
love New.
that was another sign of the decline of the Hebrew Academy too. Was the type of men that started joining the Hebrew Academy. Like when we were growing, you started noticing a decline in the quality of men that was coming into the academy. Like you're really starting
Yeah,
to, and it's not knocking their hard times there on, but it's like, brother, if you ain't even got no home, you're homeless. This
yeah,
is not the program for you. This is not going to help you then get you a house, get you a job, and really get on your feet by joining the Hebrew Academy. This is actually going to keep you homeless and broke and keep you
yeah,
in the position you're in because you're not going to be able to keep up with the workload and they're still going to be demanding funds from
yeah. Because you got to pay for the Hebrew Academy every week. Was it?
you. It's a weekly priest fund for $25 for the recruits.
I think it was 26,
No,
and then
it's 20. It might have
20.
been 26. They
Maybe
might have had one to make it a
I know
off
they
number.
charged me $31 because after I graduated or something, I forgot. It was something weird like
No,
that.
it was 25 for the recruits and 31 once you graduate.
Is that how it was? I'm confused
Yeah.
now. I don't remember. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
back. I have that back.
That's how it was. So you had that. I mean, just think about joining the academy. You're a fresh recruit that joined the academy. You have a
Right.
20 now you have, even if you're not working, you still have at least $100 monthly, 100 to $125, depending if there's 5 weeks in the month.
Yeah.
Monthly due of $100 to $125 off the bat. If you are working, you can now add in, your 20% tithe. You
Right.
also now have your mandatory high holy days, which is at least what, 8 high holy days you have to pay for, one of them being $100. So
Yep.
seven $60 payments plus $100 for Hanukkah. Major conference is mandatory too. We'll just say quarterly. When you was there, it was monthly. You had to go up there. We'll do the quarterly major conference, which is going to cost you at least about another $150 every 3 months. High
Yep.
holy days, spirituals. Now that's another $200 that you're going to come up with your spiritual. This is just your first year of joining as a new recruit. Now, four
Damn.
hundred dollars for your Passover garment. You're getting done a favor because you're just a recruit, Oxo. Your garment's only $400, brother. You see these cheap priests? They got paid $1,200 for their garments, Oxo. Or the more what is it? The more that's given, the more responsibility given. I'm misquoting it, but we're
Right.
paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's the $400 for your garment. We got the picnics. Oh no, those are $360 payments for your picnics.
You
Our
gotta make.
passport ID, another
Gotta
hundred
get to.
dollars.
You gotta get
We
up to the Passover with your family.
Yeah,
That was a crazy mission right there.
yeah.
That
That
was
that's a whole nother $200-$300 for the Passover,
right.
including the hotel that New York is going to provide for you, which is going to be they're going to do you a favor, $100 a night, which was reasonable. I'll give them that one.
What was that?
But
What
they was
hotel?
probably still paying less than that for all them rooms, but we'll leave that alone.
Okay. Okay. So
And
they
that
had
was
hotels set
Yeah,
up.
Atlantic City, damn, even though it was a damn ghost town and damn slum city, it still was cool going to Atlantic City my couple little last Passovers.
Okay.
I'll give him that credit.
All right.
Versus the other one where he's in the middle of nowhere in New Jersey when he first started getting the big little arena.
In Edison. I went to one of those. That was probably like my last Passover in 2010,
Yeah,
2000.
yeah, Edison, yeah. Because
Yeah, it was
The Manhattan
my last.
ballroom, that mug was all right, but we already know what that was. It was just costing them too much money. It wasn't
Right.
that we really outgrew that area. It was costing them too much money.
Right. We
See,
outgrew it.
that was more of the deception. All of
Every,
us was under
every
the
time I leave,
spell, thinking that we outgrew the Manhattan Ballroom Center. When you looked up, those extra tiers would be empty as hell. So no, we didn't outgrow it. It just got to the point where no, it started costing too much money. I found somewhere cheaper.
but they always say that anytime they don't renew their lease or whatever, and they move to a different location, they always make it seem like it's some growth or something. And it's like it's just moving, man. And the Miami thing, the Miami church, like that was needed for so many years, and they just dragged that on. And you can see Tazadakia in a DVD. I forget which DVD it was, but I put some of the footage in one of my videos where Tazadakia was doing the Miami. It was the earthquake in Haiti. Remember that? And he
Yep.
came out to Miami. I drove down to Orlando. I drove down to Miami from Orlando to see. I thought it was gonna be him teaching or something, but it wasn't. He was just there talking crap. They were filming him, and we got to see the to be church, to be announced, whatever date not determined. And I remember looking around. I'm like, wow, they put up like sheets covering up certain like walls, a certain area that
Wow.
because yeah, there was like it was a mess. You
A
could tell they
whole play was put together. A play was put together to lie and deceive the congregation as if this dude is going to hate. And the crazy part is, how are you Levi, quote unquote, Levi? Because there's no, I still say yet to this day, show me your precept in the Bible that shows that the instruments of cruelty is voodoo and black magic? Where is the point in the Bible that we can go to? Oh, when it says the instruments of cruelty are in their habitation, that's not voodoo and black magic. Where is your precept at in the Bible that proves that? Or is that just
Yeah,
Aria that made up some madness and said, yeah, the instruments of cruelty that's in their habitation was the black magic?
yeah.
I
They just
mean,
say there's
there's
listen,
they are not willing to debate these things on any stage, like a neutral platform. Like, let's really just debate and hash these things out.
yeah,
But back to my point is, if you're of the tribe of Levi,
yeah.
how are you still in the church when there's supposed to be a temple set up in Haiti right now? He said the Holy Spirit is going to use me to build a temple in Haiti. Like I said, OG Barbecue done took over Haiti. There's no sign of the ICGAC in sight, though.
I asked him that day when I drove down to Miami after the hurricane. I asked him, um, "Are there people in Dominican Republic?" And he said, "There's already a church in Puerto Plata." He says there was no church in Puerto Plata. There's no church in Dominican Republic. You got brothers who are Dominicans up in New York City. That's it. And
Yeah,
then
because
maybe they got family members or something that they're teaching, who don't even really take this thing serious because they have no clue what's going on.
yeah,
Dominicans like coming
like that
into
little clip that I sent you. That's
yeah,
not them getting ready to go down there and do anything. That's two brothers on vacation
right.
in the DR right now. That's going to come back empty-handed if they have been sent to do anything. There's already other groups with a stronger footprint in these areas than you.
What was
And
that
what
channel? DJC HCU?
oh, I forget what the hell
I
that
forget
thing
that brother's
was.
name, but he was in the what was that? What was that DVD that he was in with his wife? They were acting like they had relationship problems. Um,
Uh
Virtuous Woman or something? No, no, no.
Aparium. I think they're the former apostle. No,
Okay.
is that Aparium? Is that Aparium?
He was
I
in
forget brother's name
it was Jesus
already.
Marriage Part 3 or 4 or
The
something.
light skinned Puerto Rican brother that kept on like pulling off on his wife and stuff in the DVD, right?
No, he's Dominican.
Okay, yeah, same
Yeah,
difference in
but
my
that's why he's out
opinion,
there.
so to speak.
That's why he's in Dominican Republic. I remember
Right, because
talking.
all right, yeah, because he was still calling him apostle. I couldn't really tell with the glasses. He looks a little bit different right now.
Yeah,
Probably because his beard grayed out like crazy. Like I said, all them brothers
yeah,
is having these shock damn stressed beards now. Like,
yeah,
y'all
yeah,
stuff is
yeah.
aging
He,
horribly.
he aged bad, yo. Like that dude, and then the dude next to him, I remember him too. I don't remember his name, but damn, these cats are all. I mean, that's what happens. You get old, but it's at the rate at which they're aging. It's like you could tell, like these guys are stressed up in there, man.
I mean, that's what I was just telling somebody. They pushing this steady as she goes doctrine. There's when you're out in these ships, there's a point where it's called the point of no return, meaning you sailed too far out to then go back inland, and you just damn screwed if you don't make it to the destination you're trying to go to. Y'all's ship is really sinking. The captain of the ship is dead, and you're
Right.
talking about steady as she goes. You better get off the ship before you end up at the point of no return. And some, that's where they're at. When Tazadakia died, that was really, really the point of no return right there. You were supposed to get off the ship then. Now
Yeah.
y'all have had to psych yourself out and condition your mind to think it's still the truth, just
Yeah.
steady as she goes. And you don't realize the ship is sinking. Y'all are over the Marinara Trench right now, and the captain is gone. But they're
And
convinced that the captain of this ship is Christ, so he still, has some work to do and send
but
back Tazadakia to set
listen,
up the second witness and
I
all
I
this
have
stuff.
I put up I saw my cousin when you pointed out my cousin was on that DVD. I didn't even see it. I go to the her talking or whatever, and she's talking about Tazadakia as if Sazak is Jesus Christ, and every decision and everything she's done in her life is because of him. Everything positive from work to everything. I was like, yo, this girl is completely like she's stuck in there, and
Well,
she
when
gives it
did
all
she
up
come in?
after death.
What year did she come in?
She came in the same year as me in '04. Um,
Because you
came
got
in,
to really think about it. At some point, you were still in there. Then they almost started selling it like Tazadakia set up the entire church like from the beginning, almost like any
wow.
members that's been coming up in there like after like 2012,
Yeah,
anyone beyond that, you might as well just tell them Tazadakia started the ICGJC. Like this, all this started with him because they're not going into the prior years where you can remember other teachers that actually gave you a lot of pointers. You developed some of your style from, and people that actually gave you some sound advice up in there. Them
yeah.
people don't even get those stories no more. They get nothing but Tazadakia did this, Tazadakia did that. And that's just the furthest thing from the truth. Not the
The
truth, the truth.
the 2003, that was like, the turnaround year right there, where okay, that's where Tazdaki really, I think, to me, where he really started taking over. But yeah, like you said, there's new people now that have no clue what's going on. And outside of this channel, San Miguel TV, I don't know where you can go and get what's really going on in the ICGJC right now.
No, because like I said, most people is like they
Most
want
people
to chase
here,
a bigger. They're catching a bigger. They're out for a bigger fish right now. They're like, man, that
yeah,
place is pretty much done. They have no more fight in them.
it's like
They
gangs,
put these
gangs
little
taking over.
squirm attempts.
It's like gangs taking over certain territories. It's like Sakari got Atlanta. Now ICGJC's ass out
It
there.
it it is a new gang that these brothers have joined. This is real gang mentality that these brothers
Oh, yeah,
got. Like
straight up.
they're clicked up. They got certain blocks, certain streets, and all that. Like that's part. Some of GMS's doctrine is that you can't teach where another brother used to teach at.
That's
You
like
can't
drug.
build on another man's foundation. Like whether that's not what that scripture is talking about, but okay.
All right, let's. All right, looks like it kicked me out, so let me go back.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So
but
you gotta
that's
get back on.
drug lords and shit. Drug territory is like, well, this is my territory. It's like that.
No, yeah, so he done kicked you off. See, I had to come back on here and rap with you a little bit. I was like, Miguel's having too much fun on his own with this type stuff. He done got Pandora's box. I'm gonna just leave it there. He done got Pandora's box. Now he's just having a ball out here right now. And it's
Yeah,
like
there's
every time you play a clip, it's just a foot. Your leader does an excellent job of putting his foot in his mouth. Our
yeah.
former leader too. Our
I
former
don't,
leader too. You have
I
put
don't
that out there for them sometimes.
I don't even have to say much. It's like I just let the clips play, and it says it all on its own. Plus, there's brothers that like there's people I know that want to hear like what the hell's going on with Arya, and I don't be seeing a lot of these clips of Arya talking about the limo pulling up on them with the 12 tribe sign. When I saw that, I was like, oh, you don't know how many people like Vocab Malone talk about these stories that he's heard, and it's
I,
all like you never hear it
I'm
no more.
glad you mentioned that. Know what else I think is a damn lie that they created and made up that, but it's a story they always sell us on the Rosicrucians writing the blank check, telling
Right?
them write whatever they want, and and just stop teaching what you're teaching and all that. I think
Right?
that's total BS that they just made up and just threw into their story to make it themselves seem more self-righteous than what they
Yeah,
really was.
yeah, yeah. I remember you brought that up one time because it's like it makes it seem like this is the truth, and they have to come with a blank check because like even people that leave the church still believe that, and it's like, well, you kind of giving them, like, validating them a little bit by saying that Rosicrucians needed to pay them off. But I mean, there was some money coming in, so if you want to infiltrate a church to get money, there was money in there for sure.
There was already enough money up in there for them
Yeah,
to do what they was doing. To me, everything tallied up with the amount of money we was bringing in there to do what he was doing. He did not need no outside organization to cut him a check. Like I said, had
right.
he been smart, there would have been more money coming in there if he would just empowered the brothers a little bit and let some of them finances float around real quick and take the burden off brothers. He really would have had more money. and if he had invested in some businesses, because his dumbass, he had manpower. You could have opened up a small group of chain restaurants in each city and started there and employed some brothers, opened up some daycares, and you would have been fine.
Right.
But he just got too greedy.
Yeah. All right, let's play this.
Yeah, go ahead and let's
Uh-oh.
continue on. Where are we at? About
Is it
12 men right now?
Yeah, we at 9 men with this guy.
Of 100. Master 1. Coming out of the city of Baltimore.
So it's just that one person in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Officer of 100. Our high
He probably came up in there. He looked young.
Yeah, he looked young.
That's 10. So this is going to be like Baltimore, I think, is where the most people came out of. This cat right here, too, looks young. So it looks like they're recruiting. They're getting some of the people out in Baltimore.
Officer of 100. Icgjc Alaba.
Ayash Alaba. Do he look familiar? He was probably born and raised in this thing, too.
More than likely, it's officers of 100, because that's how it works, too. You had to still...
Every year, anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, we had to pay for new garment every year.
Every year.
Yeah, these are kids, Sweetness Henry says on the live chat.
That's the slang term up in there too. You remember when brothers would graduate and they were officers of 100, but they still had the Hebrew Academy recruit garments because they didn't want to pay for the other garments. And that was the slang in there, brother. You gotta get your red and white, brother. You gotta pay for your red and white now, brother.
Red and white.
Like I said, that's what cults and gangs do. They develop their own lingo, terminologies, all this stuff, and people don't even see it. They don't even see how caught up you are. And that's why I be looking at this stuff like, damn, I really can't believe how caught up I was up in this. But
It's
like
amazing
I said,
that we out, man. Like,
yeah,
because the way that they get you, it's crazy. It's like you're like a schizo. You don't even know what's real and what's fake anymore.
look, I be telling people, look, I went and got me some different third party opinions outside of just ex members out of the cult and all that. It's good to go and get, and when I say out of the cult, I'm talking good, go and talk to some professionals just to get their take. You might not even really need the help, because I was looking like I really don't need it, but I just want to hear what they got to say. And they were saying that too. They was like, if you are somewhat logical, you could get caught up in something like that because it sounds logical. But that's
Yeah,
where you were supposed to kind of try and come to when it starts sounding illogical. You're supposed to learn how to pump the brakes. But he's saying, I understand how anyone can get caught up. You have celebrities and high officials get caught up in all types of cults and all that. And it's kind of pick your poison. Our stuff was more of a religious self-identity cult, we got more caught up into. A
yeah,
little bit of both. But it
yeah.
is amazing how caught up you were. But like someone said, they said, man, some of the best of them can get caught up in there.
Yeah, that'll get you though. You know, like that identity, like something that you can relate to and you feel special. You know, I would think about Simeon. You know, like that's what I am in the Bible, and Judith was probably a Dominican looking sister. Like I used to think all that.
Right. Right.
All right.
Right. You start developing characters you feel you can relate to in the Bible just because they're from your tribe. And it's like, brother, there's people you deal with that's of your tribe on a day-to-day basis you don't even like. It's
All right.
just crazy.
This guy, well, that's one of the kids. So
Yeah.
these are the kids of the members. That's another one.
Definitely.
But this brother right here, he looks very familiar. He's from Baltimore. I've seen him before. I don't know. That's Ayash Malakama.
Probably.
That'll be number 12 right there. Like, I don't
And
know.
then you got to remember, some of these brothers was trying to chill and be members for a long time, and now they're being told, brother, you got to join the academy.
Right. Yeah. There's
You had some brothers came in there and they peep game and said, "No, I'm not joining the ranks. I'll sit right here in the back and just keep taking notes and listen." And that's when
there
you
was
see that order change. You got to join the academy.
there was a brother like that in Orlando named Steven, and he wasn't scared to ask certain questions. And you could tell this cat was studying with some other Israelites or something. Like he would ask certain questions. And he was like a perpetual citizen. for like I remember almost like a whole year or over a year. He would come around only on the Sabbath day. He would come around. That's it. And then they finally got him though.
Hmm.
I finally got him. I was like, yeah, brother, good for you.
Yep.
But, so this is number 12. So this is Baltimore. I think Baltimore got the most. I should have did it by city too. This is number 3 out of Baltimore. Yeah, I'm sure Baltimore got the most. I kind of like I went over this already, but let me see. So that's my
Alabama. Officer of 100.
Officer of 100 Bond Award from Baltimore. Bond Award. That cat,
Now,
I don't know. He looked like somebody famous. I forget,
skip
but
past them. If we can't recognize them, we just skip past them. I'll tell you if
right.
I recognize them or
I'll
not.
just yeah.
On award.
Oh,
Officer.
yes. I know this brother right here. Bar. Yes.
See? So yeah, just the recycled man.
Another recyclable. The expendables. All right, so we
That,
had
that this and like I said, how can you act like you're just not seeing this being a member in there and saying we're not growing? These is the same brothers, and it's like, brother, you're messing up. If we're supposed to be progressing, how are you getting busted from high positions and they got to start over in the ranks? That's like I said, it's not progress.
no, not at all, man. It's it's like they're lying. It's like what they were doing with Biden and stuff when Biden ain't filling up the seats, so they start to pay people to come in there and stuff. You know, there's a lot of people that do that when they have an event. These politicians know nobody's gonna come out, so they'll pay like 100 people to sit there for a few hours and stuff.
Right.
Um, this is kind of like the same thing, except nobody's getting paid.
Exactly. We know that we're not going to have a real big academy in any of these churches. So, you know what? We're just going to have to bust a few of you brothers and throw you back in the academy for the new year, so we have some recruits in the academy.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of just saying, no, there's no recruits in the area this year. You brothers got Sunday off until we rebuild an academy in that area.
The thing is, like Mega Darden says, he says the word is out. It's like the word is out already on the ICGJC, so people are running the hell away from them when they see
That's
them.
what it is. People know what's up when they see them red and white garments. They already know, man,
Yeah.
y'all is the Creflo Dollars of the Israelite damn nation.
And if they Google it, you know, they're gonna come across my channel. They're gonna come across a lot of negative stuff, and it's just exposure. That's
It's
all it is.
exposure. You
Yeah.
you are only going to be able to deal with a mentally challenged person that you come across and say, "We are the prophets of God. Don't Google nothing about us on the internet. Just come into churches, our church, pay your money and listen to everything we're saying." No one is going to do that in their right frame of mind. Whoever you give a flyer to, they're going to look you up, and all your dirt and everything is going to
Oh yeah.
come up.
And with the case and everything, and the newspapers that's been covering all this stuff, forget it. You can't. You're gonna come across all of that negative stuff first, and people are gonna just stay away, man. Forget it.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. I
they, they,
noticed that
they
that's what
only
we
get
started to recruit.
like they only get like close family members like that. That's what they. That's like with me and my cousin. Like you ain't just gonna be getting a bunch of people out of nowhere. You're gonna get people that's probably closest to you that's gonna listen to you because you close to them or something. You know, and that's probably how these people are still maintaining. Because other than that, we rarely got people off the street that was like, "Yeah, I want to be down with y'all." Like that
No,
was rare.
no, if
And
you do, there was
glory,
something off with them brothers. The people that we started getting in the later years, it was always some type of mental challenge or some type of issue with the people. Where it's just like, it's embarrassing to even throw a garment up on this brother because they're
yeah,
just not right. They're not going to learn. They're not going to step up. Like there was a certain generation that came in around 2004, 2005, where it's like, damn, these brothers at least had some skills, had driver's license, stuff that could really elevate the place. Like I
yeah.
said, you start getting brothers that was homeless wanting to come in, brothers that was on drugs and all types of riffraff was coming into the church.
we were just taking in anybody after a while, and it was like I don't think
Yeah.
these people even really believe and understand what's going on, and they don't even seem coherent. Brother,
Yeah. Thank you.
I forget the brother's name, Yahawada. It was a brother Yahawada. I'll never forget this brother, man. His hair was like falling off. It was so matted and old that it was barely hanging and dangling off. Like it was like you could pull it off and it just falls apart.
Yeah, if
He's
you talking about in his
so
beard where he just had that little piece of beard, where it's like a little piece and then a big
yeah,
old patch just hanging, and you
yeah,
just wanted to clip it with a scissors, like brother,
yeah,
stop playing and clip that shit off. That
yeah.
dude, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Him.
He was insane. Yeah,
Yeah, but and that's my
found
point. Like
busting. He used to
that's
sleep
my
at
point. You feel he's going to be raised up and exalted and have a plantation full of Edomites one day, whipping their back, sitting drinking them out of gold cups and all that. Like we put together a real imaginary campfire story in our brains, like
yeah,
some grown big kids, like living in a total fantasy. Like
yeah,
I'm like, brother, all this stuff that we was taught of what the kingdom is gonna be like, brother, that's some real delusional stuff when you really think about it. The
yeah.
people that don't believe in this truth,
I bet you brothers
they're
like that are not even no longer in there. I bet you that brother's probably in an
and
insane asylum or
that's a
something.
good thing you just bring out because with Minnesota, I just had to rewind. There was a brother up in Minnesota like that, Yakarataza. I
Yeah,
know damn well there's no way that he's should not been in the academy with Mathawan. There's no way he graduated the academy ever. He had no discipline, nothing. I know he was going to be in the academy forever. So for him not to be graduating, either he's not there anymore, is a strong possibility, or he's just like one of them brothers I'm talking about, just is really off and is like incoherent up in there. Because I mean, this stuff is so basic for you not to be able to dang pass this stuff. This is ridiculous. Like I'm looking at one of these quizzes I got. One of the question is, what is a code? Is one of the questions on
what
one of these
code?
quizzes. What is a code? Something
Wow,
that is used to unlock something. That answer is correct.
right.
That's what the answer they got on there is questions. Give the
Wow,
scriptures give the scriptures showing that God gives his secrets onto the prophets. That brother couldn't remember that one. Amos
wow.
3 and 6, Shaquat Zion. See, these brothers ain't studying, man. Who is the teacher you're seeking? Jesus Christ, correct. What scripture proves the world doesn't have and cannot receive the spirit of truth? This brother has no answer on that one. That one,
Wow.
St. John 14 and 17. See, they also tell you that. See, when you
Great.
leave the truth, brother, the scriptures leave you too. It's like, brother, I remember all this
Yeah.
ABC doctrine, brother, because it's just programmed in. It's like, brother, that's St. John 14 and 17. This is one of their young officers up in there. So
They,
these
they,
are the type of questions they're getting asked, and they can't pass this stuff.
those are basic questions. There'll be
Yeah.
brothers that were in there. I remember there was brothers in Miami and maybe even in Orlando, but mostly Miami. Miami was jacked
Yeah,
up.
for those that
They
think I just
come up
made
here.
that up. That's the new Hebrew Academy. It's been the new Hebrew Academy since 2012. We're in 2024 and they're still calling it the new Hebrew Academy. Like, brother, it's just the Hebrew Academy now. It's not new anymore.
What? Why did they come up with the new? What was it that they did differently?
They nothing except for added the DVD breakdowns up in there and
Okay.
changed the class schedule a little bit. That was it.
Okay.
There
Right.
was nothing else that changed in the Hebrew Academy that was ran any differently. But it was just the new gimmick.
Right. That's crazy.
But it's
And
just like I said, the
and, and
Hebrew Academy.
and then it ain't like elementary school, middle school, high school where you have different people from different ages learning different things. You got all people of different ages being tested the same way,
Exactly.
which is another thing that's crazy. But all right, let's continue this. We at Office of 100 at bar number 14. Wait, yeah, number 14. All right, we still in Baltimore, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore, they deep. We gotta get past them.
Of 100 Ibar. Officers of 100 Shamshuan Duba.
That's
Shamshuanga.
definitely a young kid.
Yeah, that's another young kid. probably somebody's son that
Yeah.
came years ago, or there were kids up in the Hebrew Academy, like the 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and they were just being pushed in there by their parents.
Yeah, because I mean, there's some of these dudes are got rank and ain't even serious with the rank they're in anyway. That's that officer 100. That's a flake. That's a shaky rank. That's not a brother that's gonna be guaranteed a new officer. Look at the damage he's gonna do out here. Brother will graduate the academy and go AWOL the following week.
Right? Yeah, yeah. There'd be captains of 13,000 going AWOL, or generals. Like that happened in Orlando. Orlando fell apart. That's why there's no graduates from Orlando. I think the damage that was done in Orlando by like Baltazar Allah and then everybody that left, man, it's like permanent, man. Because they
Man,
about us out here, and like most of the foundational brothers, like Alex, that need to be free. Shayarika. There's a few brothers from that, like in Orlando, that was already here. Brooklyn Outlaw, they were already in when I came in. They're gone now. I can't think about the only people I can think of that's still in there while I was in there is Manatazak, Magun, Amath, and I don't know who else. Like everybody else, they probably came up like right after me, but I think I remember seeing like 3 new faces when I popped up one time in like 2015. It was like maybe 3 or 4 new faces, and this is over like a 5-6 year span. So like these people, there's no real growth. It's brothers and sisters come in. Maybe a brother comes in, brings in his wife. They probably already have kids, or they're gonna have kids in there, and that's the growth. The growth is not
right.
people like by the droves, like listening or subscribing and tuning in. Like, like I said in one of my videos, one of my last videos about the ICGJC, it's like we pretty much have the same audience. There's not hundreds of thousands of people looking for the
Yeah.
ICGJC. Just
This
like
this
there's
is ping pong right now. What y'all is doing, this is ping pong. That's how small of the table of this is of going back and forth. It's y'all's congregation that's being disobedient that watch these videos, commenting and all that. And then, like I said, we'll tune into their stuff occasionally to see what the hell they doing. I mean,
yeah,
it's the same people that's watching these videos, but ultimately what everyone just needs to get, the point of this video is just showing how ineffective the Hebrew Academy is. The Hebrew
right.
Academy is not recruiting a new army of God that's coming, that's being risen up, that's getting ready to take over the world. That's more of that mythical movie BS right there, where it's just this forsaken army that's just waiting to be risen and all that. And from there, it just comes and terrorizes the world. That's what y'all are on right now, and it's not going to happen.
They will talk about. I've heard this before. They're gonna rely on like some miracle or some supernatural thing to happen somewhere down the line in order for like the multitudes to come in. Because this teachings, the doctrines ain't doing anything right now.
They can't even line up scripture with nothing they see going on in the world right now to actually give people a blueprint of where we're at in prophecy right now. They can't line up anything. They literally have to wait for some comet day Armageddon type miraculous thing to come out of the sky to make now set everything right. Like there's no lineup to anything that they're waiting for. Russia was supposed to be involved in halfway taking over Europe and all that back in like 2013. On I forgot what when the that comet fell from went through the hit over there in Russia and all that. That was supposed to be some
Yeah,
great omen, and Russia was supposed to get all stirred up and all this type of stuff. Like there's
but you
nothing that lines up.
ACU, you even saw them talking about this moon, that super blood moon or whatever that
The
happened
blood
in
moons,
April.
many. Your kingdom is finished.
Right?
God has numbered your kingdom and finished it.
Like
I mean,
you
and
don't.
there was never where a red moon was just the people seeing the red moon and was terrified. And it's like, how many blood moons are we gonna go through? We're seeing that we see that like every 3 months now. The moon is strawberry moon and all that. Like
The
this
strawberry
is
moon.
normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. They just had the summer solstice full moon. They called it the strawberry
But
moon.
it's just like that video. I'm not sure if you even put that video up, but it's one I sent you where he was talking about they see the blood moons, the super moons, and all that, and they're terrified, they're scared as hell, and they don't want to go against it. And then the point is, they seeing all these moons according to him. We gotta play this video. But
Yeah.
they killed you afterwards. So if they were so terrified, y'all are saying the government took him out. So they obviously was not that scared if they still went ahead and took you out. And I mean, we're
The
not
government
hearing
is not
anything.
supposed to be taking him out anyways because there's no weapon formed against us or him or whatever them that could prosper. So,
You can't be hurt, is what was said.
but
You are the bait.
what's
There's
funny,
supposed to be
that,
stuff being torn up right now, though. And
you
that to
know,
me, like I said,
there's a
I
story.
know
There's
real
a story.
quick though.
That,
I want to say this real quick. It
yeah,
ain't this to damn gloat over this. It's just you have to let the logic kick in because people get all emotional. You know, when you're talking to them,
yeah,
so you look at they have no respect. They're mocking the gods and comforter. It's not even
yeah.
about that. It's just about let some logic really kick in on this. If he's the bait and the government, the Esau, the devil took him out, there's supposed to be an answer coming from God now. Y'all put out demands now that have not been answered. Business is going on as usual, and they're not even thinking about y'all. And you're still talking about what God is going to do. Now, when a hurricane happens in Ohio, see, that was God's vengeance for what they've done to the children of Israel. Like, where is that God's judgment to inflict a storm on people that don't even know what's going on? They don't have a clue of this black Hebrew Israelite chosen thing, and their house got torn up in a tornado. They're not going to stop and say, "We need to think about what the wrong we've done to blacks and Latinos. That's why we don't have houses." That's
You
not
could
logical.
you could compare like the number of pardons though, like I did on that video, and see that Trump only did 237 pardons. Ronald Reagan did more than that in the 80s. It's like it's been declining, and then Obama, that's the one that stands out. That could have been something that they could have used if they would have did the demands back in damn 2012 or something. But
Right.
Donald Trump didn't address like the only reason why he was bringing that up is because um, it was towards the end of his presidency, and that's what they do. Presidents pardon people. They pardon all throughout their presidency, but when it gets down towards the end, they start to really think about. All right, I got to think about who I'm going to take out.
I
Um,
mean,
but yeah,
this is the same man that sat in General Assemblies and told us he's in communication with Donald Trump and he's damn making demands and playing moves with Donald Trump and all this. Like, now that I really just think of some of the stuff this dude used to say, like, bro, there's no one from the White House that's talking to you, brother. You're not in communication with no American government. You're not on their radar whatsoever, besides on the Sovereign Poverty Law Center. That's about it, brother.
yeah.
That's that's the
And
only attention y'all are really getting. And like I said, that's the delusion.
you
These
know
people think they're in some never-ending saga.
as you were talking about, that's like that's with the blood moons and the full moons and all this thing. That's going to be an ongoing thing. So it's like every other year they're going to be able to bring that up and spook people out for a little while, But at the same time, like you said, nobody's spooked out if they're out here trying to get rid of the ICGJC. Then they're not scared. But this is something that Christopher Columbus did out here in like 14. I think it was 1495. There was a super full moon or whatever, blood moon, and he knew that it was coming because he knew about all that stuff. And he told the Native Americans, "You better give me supplies and give me food and supply our charters, our ships, or our God is gonna make the moon red or something." And knowing that he's using that logic or that not that logic, that phenomenon that happens every so often. He knew it was going to happen, but he used that because he had that knowledge ahead of time to scare the Native Americans. This is what Tazadaki is doing with the members, just like because they're ignorant, and he's
Right.
like manipulating them with all these natural events that these things, these occurrences, this stuff happens every 3 years. I think there's a full blood moon or something. So it's like you can predict when these things are going to happen. The
Yeah.
uh the Tainos in the island of Hispaniola, they didn't know about none of that stuff. Like the Mayans did, but the Taínos didn't know. So when he was able to predict that, and they saw that, they thought that he had special powers. This is exactly what Tazadaki is doing. But let's get back to this thing though, because they're gonna.
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
getting the frozen screen again. Okay, you see, I can't let it sit for too long. But yeah, man, I see Brooklyn Outlaw. I see you in the comment section, brother. Welcome back. I mentioned your name, and
No,
then you.
I mean,
see.
we see that there ain't much that's going on with the Icgjc. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
delusion these brothers is in. Like your movement has been taken over. Like when IUIC did that little Memphis takeover a
Yeah.
few like 4 or 5 years ago, everyone seemed like y'all aren't the ones no more. That y'all have lost the top spot. You've never. I mean, we had that little unorganized march down to the precinct and all that, and that looked like something. But when you really looked at that compared to the way them brothers marched in Memphis, that was garbage. What we did.
Yeah. Or over in DC, the capital. I saw that. I
Oh
was
yeah,
watching.
well, yeah, yeah. I was at the Capitol. That was more of a damn unorganized nonsense where they damn kidnapped us. We didn't even know where we was going. We thought we was going to a General Assembly meeting, and next thing we see is a bunch of tour buses damn parked outside of the little Shield building. So we
What?
go up in there, and about there we just get to drive. We don't know where we're going or nothing. And probably about EC from Philly is what about an hour and a half or something like that, probably about 30, 40 minutes into the drive, they get on the mic and say, well, y'all probably know where we're going right now. Because this was right after, when they raided. So he's like,
Yeah.
y'all probably know where we're going. Yeah, we're getting ready to go to the Capitol and all that. So anybody that wants to go out and prophesy and all that, get your scripts and all that stuff together. So we go out there, and that's when they give us the many, many signs. We don't know what the hell we saying, chant some many, many or meme, and we don't know what the hell mean. We don't know what we're saying at first until we know it's many, many. And now
Yeah.
that I looked that up, I got to look that up again. That probably is not even the right pronunciation
Yeah.
of those verses in Daniel's.
I don't think
It
it's.
probably is
I don't think.
mean or something like that.
I don't think it's pronounced many. Like they
Yeah.
were many, 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 and it's like it's not. I don't think it's many. I think
I,
it's many.
I, I highly I highly doubt that too.
But okay,
But
let's get. Okay, see who else I recognize here. I don't recognize that guy.
Of 100, Shower Quad Mullah.
I remember Shower Quad Malak, right? That's a recycle. That's definitely a recycle.
Probably, but I can't tell. Well, these are y'all Southern brothers.
Yeah, no, this Baltimore still.
Oh, that's still be more.
Yeah.
Coming out of the
Oh, we already
city,
moved past the South right now. We in Philly.
So now you got Philly.
officers of
Look at
100.
this cat.
That's definitely a recycle right there. Former bishop. No, they
Hey,
probably.
I'm
But
sorry.
I remember this is 2023. So just to offset you, brother, they're gonna raise some of these brothers up since it's 2024 now. So
Right, right.
just so they can come in and refute you and say, brother, you don't know what you're talking about. That brother's been raised up to a bishop. We just had to give him his honor and his flowers, brother, for 2023 because we couldn't come together then.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
Yeah. So somebody said that other brother was a recyclable.
super. That's a super recyclable right there, brother.
Like,
That's like he's been
he probably
dang
did
through.
shit like
He's been through a couple times, brother. That's a super recycle. That's refined plastic right there, brother.
Mullah.
oh
Coming out of the city of
man.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Officers of 100, Aparian Lakar. Officers of 100,
Recyclable. That's definitely recyclable. Yep,
Yeah, I know Barack.
all day.
Damn, that's number 18. Did I miss anything? I don't think so.
So
Let me-
all the brothers that couldn't get right, the brothers that should be court-martialed, pretty much,
Yeah,
are now just they're back in the filtration system.
he said he is gone. This brother's gone, is what you saying? Sweetness Henry is Barack gone? I wouldn't doubt it, man. I mean, this is just what 2023. Yeah, so man, you know how many people probably done left already? This it seems to be something that's happening more recently, like in the last year or two, or yeah, like the last year. I've been getting like uptick of like emails from former members and contacts by former members. What's up, Reno? Reno, a Philly vet right there.
I mean, eventually you're just gonna break out of the cycle. Like I think even some of these diehards, like your raw bonds, and I don't know. I just don't know. So some of these brothers, it's just like some of these brothers have nowhere to go. That literally is where they at. Like I said, the point of
He
no
got.
return.
It's so in the
But
comments, Sweetness says last year he got put out. So
I'll put it this way. I think it's easier to leave if you're further out of state. The further away you are from New York, the easier it is to leave.
right.
Like,
I
what
mean,
are you trying to hold on to some
themselves.
brothers that you this? I
Yeah,
just don't get it. Like I said,
a lot
further
of
out of state
people,
churches, New York's whole swag, there's nothing wrong with brothers, but that's not even our style. So it's almost to me, that's what makes you such a damn nut rider. It's like, brother, you're trying to conform to some other brother's culture and stuff that you don't even really rock with like that. It was different before when you really thought you had to do this stuff, but there's
yeah.
been too many red flags.
All right, let's finish this up.
Recyclable.
Of 100, Kazakh Shaw.
Kazakh Shar, I don't know who that is.
I don't know him either.
That's so. This is still Philly.
I don't know him, but you never know. Let's go on.
Officers of 100, Kazakia.
Kazakia and Kazakh Shar.
Don't know them too.
See, I don't know this cat.
Officers of 100, Jair Easy.
Jair
Don't know
Easy.
him either.
One's right there.
Got
Hold on.
English name. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Philly might be doing that. But Philly, they on some heavy shit over there in Philly too, though. So you never know what these brothers, what they coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's
Because
see.
some of these cities, like Philly, is just a depressing city. I can understand you
Yeah.
really looking for something in Philly. Like
Yeah.
that's a city I always hated traveling to.
I could see that, man. I could see
It
that.
was always damn gray and gloomy as hell, and I'm not even gonna go back to
That's
Philly. I'll start having flashbacks.
that's how. Yeah. I see what you're
I
saying.
like New York better than I like Philly. I just put it that way.
Here's another guy with no Hebrew name, James Earl Barnwell Phillips. He got a long Hispanic name and shit. Nah. Um.
That's
Hispanic
Philly on the rise.
like that. Them hyphenated names. Yeah, that's Philly still. Uh,
Philly's on the rise. We'll leave that alone. All right, potential new recruit, Philly. Okay,
that's a new one,
Philly's
I
gonna
think.
become the new world headquarters.
James Earl
The new New York.
Phillips. Officers of 100, Lakama Kalrai.
Lakama Kalrai.
Don't recognize him either.
Why he seems familiar? I don't know.
No, don't try and familiarize them. What you used to give them their credit. All right,
Yeah,
potential new recruit.
recycle. Somebody said recycle.
Oh, they said
He's
recyclable. Okay.
seen him before.
See?
Uh,
See,
yep.
I'm sorry.
Reno.
That thank you. We got confirmation up on here.
Yeah, from Philly too. So yeah, look at that recycle. These are 3 Philly people right here. All right.
Officers of 100, Yakala Allah.
Yakala Allah. You're number 24, I believe. Man. So that's Philly, I think. Let me see.
Officers of 100, Yeshaya.
He looks familiar, but I don't know. He looks like another young cat though.
Someone said Basil's son. So
Which one is
any
Basil's?
Basil son, that's a recyclable.
That looks like Basil right there. Yeah.
Okay, yep, that's a recyclable then.
Okay. Yeah. He's a. This is crazy.
Of
When you
100,
call those, when you
Yakala.
call
All right. Let's go back. So now they're gonna do New York, I think. Let me see.
Officers
let's
of
see.
100,
No,
Allah.
we still in Philly though.
Nah,
Because I
Philly just.
noticed that it did Philly just end?
Yeah,
'Cause
Philly just finished.
did they announce New York? I missed if they announced all right, New York. Go
Officers
back one.
of 100, Yeshaya.
Let me see.
Coming out of the city of New York. Officers
Okay. Of course.
I had to edit it a little bit because they always say front and center. I edited all of that out, except for these two. I think I kept that.
So Allah Hayim Bun, the gift of prophecy.
So that's a recyclable.
He didn't quite see that he's going to be back graduating the academy in 2023.
Yeah, how's he an officer of 100, man? He saw angels and stuff. Like
He has the gift of prophecy. 2012, as he was raised up among the 12.
crazy. That is crazy.
And now you're an officer of 100.
I remember
I mean,
it happened too. I wasn't in there, but everybody was hyped about that. Oh, we got the 2012. Oh, stupid.
I mean, when have you ever seen, aside from Judas, how many times have you seen the other apostles lose their positions?
Right.
At one point, we had 15 apostles in the church because when he first set up that fake order of 12 after the 2012, the refurbished order of the 12, then he said that he had the order of the 12, and then there was supposed to be 6, what he said, deputy apostles too, that was supposed to be on the reserve in case any of these other apostles messed up. But I guess he's kind of thought that over, like, no, that sounds too damn ridiculous. And he just pulled that one back and no one ever asked him about it. But then it's like, all right, brother, you done picked 12 apostles, and then there's the 3 holy apostles. That's 15 apostles.
Right. So
yeah, I mean, and then within a few months, some of them is busted already. Where it's like, all right, now we are down to 12 apostles again, because then we got the 3, and now these 9.
I mean, and then some of these apostles is like, Saint Ivan, who left. Like we was always
Thank
led.
you.
We were always
You
led.
had like 3 or 4 Judas apostles.
We
You
were
had
always
Saint
led.
Ivan, who they say is the devil. Quetzalcoatl Allah, who they say is the devil. The Ephraimite brother that he was supposed to be not living his natural years out on earth. He's the devil.
Yeah.
Damn, Karatazar, the devil got on him as far as the ailments and all that, because he had all them different physical ailments and all that, even though he was supposed to be healed of the fibromyalgia, but all them ailments and all that took him where he couldn't be an apostle. Those are 4 apostles that the devil took out of position, not even one. So this stuff just
at the end of the Daytime Stood Still DVD or whatever, they put up that brother and he said he got healed. He got hands. I mean, he
and
was
then
healed.
then the sisters that said that she had AIDS that was healed and then shortly left the church not too long after. The one that told she got healed of AIDS ain't even in the church no more. I found out. Like, how do you have a man heal you from AIDS before there's any type of Magic Johnson medications and stuff come out like that? And you now all of a sudden just leave the church after some men healed you of AIDS.
That's crazy. That
is crazy to me. Somebody's lying in there. That's all I can say.
A lot of people are lying.
Maybe
people
you're
lying themselves. They want to
and,
get hit.
and that's where people don't study and research. See, in some cases with AIDS, that could be where she went in there and her white blood cell count and all that was just looking better or something like that during that time. And okay. And now she went in a few damn months later or something, like, no, you're not looking too hot right now. I mean, it can be that just like that. So people don't. People just. We was taking a lot of stuff face value. Like, we listened to a brother literally say they was seeing an angel in a restaurant that sat down with him, drove in a little car that damn dusted off they bins they're in, and got an angel as the license plate. They can't catch it, and then the angel just disappears out of nowhere. We were listening to men that would blatantly lie on some shit like that. Like, damn.
They never said that's because the guy that was driving the car was probably named like Angel Rodriguez or something. These guys are crazy, man.
Man, that's what I'm saying. That was crazy, though. You got to really think about, these are the type of liars that you're listening to.
This cat, I forgot what Jerome said. He said he'll lie in a minute for Tazadakia.
Oh, yeah, because Tazaki gave him the magical potion that healed his back too, though. We'll get to that recycle, but yeah. Allah Bunya, he got the magical potion that healed him. Tazadaki gave him some concoction that put a jolt of energy in him where he was doing push-ups and all types of stuff, brother. So yeah, that's another lie that he told for him too.
This cat is a liar right here. And his daughter is one of the holy women that Tazadaki was dealing with.
So that's another recyclable. And really, he's supposed to be in Philly, ain't he?
Yeah. He's supposed
So
to be
they got him. So they have him forced up in New York now.
Yep. That's crazy. That's Alahayimba, man. Look
That's a true recycle right there, brother. You've been recycled from Philly to New York.
Jesus Christ. He's been refurbished. That's
Damn.
easy.
That's some stuff they grind it down and melt it down and turns you into a whole new bottle. You're a different product, brother. You done went from the Aquafina to the thinner Dasani bottle.
Yo, this
I mean,
cat.
look at how your life is being controlled. You're being forced to move to another city with no benefits. Like a job will at least relocate you, pay a couple months rent for you to relocate, let you get on your feet. You'll be thrown from one city to another with no place to live.
That's crazy, man. Don't he have a whole family in Philly?
In the plasma line, damn, donating damn plasma and all that, trying to pay bills in a whole nother city.
Man.
Yeah, and from what we know, he has a wife in Philly.
That's crazy. But he had his daughter living with Tazadakia in Jersey.
But we know that's nothing new because that's how they did Thahawam, though. They made him leave Orlando like that and just relocate to New York and all that because he got
Yeah,
married. So now your punishment is you got to come up to New York and be homeless.
that's crazy. And Tazadakia beat this guy up, right?
Yeah.
I think that
I
was
think they saying he was beaten up like twice of what they know of.
yeah, that they know of. Yeah, I'm sure he's got hands put on him more than that. Tazadakia don't know how to keep his hands to himself. I mean, if he's beating on his own wife, but that's crazy. You know, these stories of I'm surprised Vocab
Yeah.
Malone didn't bring that up when
Can
Saint
you really imagine how
all
crazy
these
it would have got if Tazadaki would have gotten some members over to Jerusalem, though?
right,
Just think about that. Like, if he would have pulled it out and maybe taken like 15, 20 people over there overseas, that would
right.
have got crazy.
Oh yeah, forget it. They would have been prophecy fulfilled right there. I mean, if to them prophecy fulfilled is 200 pardons, but then Tazadaki he came back and said, well, that's not the demands. The demands is you gotta it's
You had to
millions.
release all of them. No, he said all of them must be released.
All of them. That's crazy, man. Yo, you know how many psychopaths there are in jail right now in prison? And
That's what I'm
why
saying.
would you want these guys around your members? Like,
And then how are you going to know who is an Israelite to release as well, too, though?
right, what do you do?
Because you can go to prison, especially in California, and you can call what's called run black or run southerner and all that, depending on what your affiliations is. And they place you because prison is very racial. It's very
Yeah,
racially divided.
right,
So they have like cars in prison. So you have white people that will be in the black car because their affiliation, or an Hispanic that will be in the black car because their affiliation. So
right,
how would you even be able to tell who's who that you're letting out of prison? You would just have anybody coming up saying, "Look, I'm an Israelite too. I
right.
want out."
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're
And
not going to be able to go by that. It's the spirit that beareth witness that we are the children of God, because these dudes is in there for murder, rape, and all types of stuff. So what spirit are you gauging them off of to say these are the children of God?
that's some
I
crazy
mean,
stuff.
the more you go into it, that's why I just tell everyone, you have to let it go. You got to take your L up on this whole Icgjc stuff. I be watching people on the Facebook and these different pages, and they're trying to hold on to the little bits and pieces of this like they have something to prove. And you just have to say the whole doctrine is garbage, people. I mean, and what I'm not saying, I'm not talking about just the common sense of the Bible. I'm just talking about what we got taught and the way you try and use it in the Bible. It just doesn't
Yeah.
line up on no level.
There's a lot of things. There was like,
It's an ancient time that's went past that you're gonna just have to say, I missed that time. I can't time warp myself into the 21st century and say, yeah, this is talking about now, and it says in these days and all that, brother. They're telling you clearly the last days was during their time.
yeah, exactly. This is the
This
time,
generation shall not see death. I mean, how can you explain that any other way? Unless you're gonna say Christ lied to them people. I
right?
mean, that's what you have to say. If he said you're not going to taste death until you see the Son of Man coming, and all those people died. I
Yeah,
mean, what are you trying to say now?
yeah.
You would
They
now have to
they
throw in a
talking about.
reincarnation doctrine.
Yeah, that what they say is that that's the transfiguration. That's when that was fulfilled. That's what Christians would say.
I mean, you got people that's just scared now to accept that, brother, you don't know what this is talking about, and the majority of this stuff is unknown, and you don't have to cleave onto this set of rules to be considered a good, righteous person when you do when you transition over. These people just don't understand the illusion they've thrown in, but you got people trying to hold on to this stuff now, and that's where these people is at.
I don't
The
understand.
glory days.
Like, it comes a time, man. I mean, people don't like change. Like the mind doesn't like change, but
Yeah.
the mind also doesn't like cognitive dissonance and all of that. you
Yeah.
know, so you got to.
Unfortunately, it's certain groups of people that don't like change, and they happen to be those different groups that church is targeting. And like I
Yeah,
said, it's all comes from, it's not all this mythical stuff that brothers is trying to put out there. It's just social engineering. You just got to say one
yeah,
group of, like what I sent you. A lot
exactly.
of us are just salty that you didn't think to take over the world first, and you got the short end of the stick in certain cases. Is all
Right.
that is. Yeah, that's where brothers. And now you've made up this mythical doctrine to make yourself feel superior and on top, and just gotta say, look, our people took a L. You didn't fight back. You opened your shores and borders to certain people, and they took advantage of you. It was not this mystical, we can, God sent them against us. There's no way we can defeat them and all that. It didn't work that way, brother.
There's so many things like that contradict. Like his death is the biggest thing to me. But just a lot of these things that I'm seeing right here, these recycled brothers, like that shows me that there's something wrong in here. There shouldn't be brothers
Exactly.
supposedly saw angels that are now getting busted down to have the gift of prophecy that now have to be a perpetual recruit or whatever the hell. These brothers is
Thank you.
gonna get busted down in before the next Passover. Watch a lot of these cats.
Yeah,
Like,
we gotta get past Ayash. I know there's some more familiars in New York. But
yeah,
like him, we got him. This brother is a true recycle. He's been recycled from city to city.
these are the last ones. They left New York for last, but what is this number
I
two from
thought
New
I
York?
saw one where they had a couple brothers from like Texas, Louisiana, because they're trying to, they got the Holy Conception unit. And those are the brothers that's in different states on the little conference call and Zoom call stuff. Because they got the one brother that's been obsessed with that place forever, Napasha Math
Yeah,
from Louisiana.
over the
That
street.
brother he is obsessed with that place. And but like
Uh,
I said, he's a good brother, but brother, you're
yeah,
like 30 years old, and brother was still staying at home with your parents, bro. Like, come on, man. It's just like
I could
the
tell
type of people they're attracting are not the elite of a nation and society, so to speak.
because
Like
I
it's
remember.
people that's really got a lot of underachievements going on as well too.
I remember when the Pasha Ma first when I first met him because I was talking to him for years. He would call in and listen into Tahawam's classes, and
Yeah,
because like they would have the phone on, you know, for people like and I spoke to a brother Marvin from Halifax, um, Nova Scotia over
yeah.
there. He's up in Canada. That was like the one brother they had in Canada. He was a good artist. I don't know if you remember him. He emailed me a few weeks ago. He's done with this thing. All the international people I think left. The sister from
Yeah,
Trinidad.
majority of Canada left, majority of Trinidad left. I mean,
Yeah.
you got like I said, you got the Napasha Mouth in Louisiana. You got like a couple brothers in Detroit, like two brothers that's on the conference call, and
Right.
then I think the
But
sister. You got like one sister and you got the one brother in London. He's still up in there too. He's an officer 100
and
now
like
too.
Napasha Moth used to go out in the streets and try to hand out flyers. I remember he told me that sometimes he'll do that on his own, but that
Hmm.
they told him he has to be careful because he's by himself. But he wasn't bringing in nobody. That brother was he was all right. He was just whatever. He was a little odd when I met him in person. I don't know.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying when I say,
Yeah,
look, there's some oddballs up in there.
yeah,
That doesn't mean these are bad brothers, but these are some touched brothers up in
right.
there.
Nah, Pasha Moth was it was a few brothers like that. But those are the ones that was so far out because the brother he was in Shreveport. That's like northwest. There's nothing out there. Like he was out there in the sticks. But yeah, let me see. Let's finish this thing up right here.
Officers of 100, Ayash Allah, foot and scissors. Officers of 100, Kazak Shah.
I don't know if I.
That's somebody's kid. Stop it.
He looks like a young cat.
Officers of
This cat looks like damn Kendrick Perkins.
I
I don't know who that is.
don't know Israel Paul.
Okay,
He might
that's
have
probably that's a
he
new
might
cat.
have been in there for a while. Now he might have been in there for a while. And they just let him keep his English name. Like, know what? Israel Paul, brother. We don't need to change your name to nothing in Hebrew, brother.
Yeah. I think this is actually the last dude right here, because that would make I think I missed one. I got 32.
No, we got it. Recycle.
Yeah. Oh,
Kids recycle. We
like,
got the confirmation.
yeah. He looks kind of familiar, but I don't know, man. I think they're using some damn Snapchat filters or some AI to clean these guys' old withered faces up, because
Damn.
Ayasha War or whatever. What's his name? Ayasha La. What's his name again? The one that got beat up.
Ayash Allah.
Ayasha La. If you look at they definitely did something to his face, because he's definitely aging, but they brushed it up a little bit. It looks like, but man, I remember the first time I saw him with a full head of gray hairs, gray braids, and now I think he's lost all that hair. I don't know.
Hmm.
All right, so that's number 32. We got that cat. Okay, that's right. I didn't count him.
Officers of 100, Israel Call. Officers of 100, Tahanya. Officers of 100, Nathaniah. Officers of 100.
Hold on. That's definitely a recyclable right there. Yeah, that's
Oh
definitely.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what? I think they have more than 33 graduates. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no. Yeah. I'm counting all wrong. Okay. Boom. Yeah, so this is New York. So, yeah, New York better have more than goddamn two brothers. So that was 33. No, 20. 29, 30. Hanya.
Yeah, we know the Kanye. That's definitely a recyclable. Nathan Izar, that's a recyclable.
He's recyclable. Yeah, that I don't know if I missed somebody, but I think it was less than 33 people actually.
That sounds about right. Yeah, your counting is all off.
Yeah.
You trying to damn just give them too much credit. I keep telling you.
Yeah, I think I put too many. I don't know how I came up with that number, but maybe I missed something just now. But either way, more than half of these brothers, I counted about 17, 18 recyclables. And then that's not even counting the kids.
Mm.
I think that's counting the kids. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Really is.
There were probably like 2 or 3 actual brothers like that were new that came right off the street. Nobody's coming in. This is crazy right here. They're lying on YouTube saying that they're packed to the gills and they're
We gonna show y'all.
busting out the seams. Look at IUSC.
Yeah, brother.
Chicago.
Let me just show you what real recruitment looks like. Docia just made it about his man worship, and these brothers in the ICGJC, they just don't want to realize, like, man, we really have lost this. Like, I remember they said there was supposed to be a time where the rebels wasn't even supposed to be able to go out and teach in the streets. God was supposed to take them out of because you
That
see them
that, that
brothers, like I said, really actually got real position in that place. And
but
ICGJC,
that
you
group
don't.
is actually like they actually went out and spoke to that dude that the Dr. Reniel Rodriguez, the archaeologist. They actually did an interview with him. You know, like ICGJC is not doing stuff like that. But
No.
then IUIC, after while they're interviewing this guy, that very guy they're interviewing exposes their lies by saying that there's been people in the Americas for 15,000 years plus, and then
Right.
they don't like that. That's crazy that came out on the IUIC's program, and they
Right.
still keep it going. That's it's like you see the same thing in the ICGJC. They get debunked and they just brush it off like nothing happened. It's like a
Yeah.
bulletproof brain, like just bullets bouncing off their brain, like
Yeah,
knowledge.
it's indoctrinated. Like trying to pull someone out of the IUIC is be the same thing as like with the ICJC. Like you're not
Yeah,
going to be able to convince them that they haven't found the truth and that their leadership is right and all that, because most of these people have never heard. When we entered into these little Black Hebrew Israelite cults, that was our first time really hearing the Bible. Like, let's be real. You didn't really go through the Bible and know the Bible and just couldn't figure it out before. When we ended up in them place, that was our first time hearing the Bible. So that's why your
yeah,
first indoctrination is, like they said, first impression. So that's
right,
kind of what sticks with you. Even when you look at your perception of the Bible, it still is more based on what you learned in the ICGAC versus mainstream Christianity,
right,
even though you know
yeah,
what you learned at ICJC is a bunch of BS, but just the way we could go out there and act like we was confounding people and leaving people stuck and all that, and we was just dealing with other people that didn't know the Bible. That's all that was.
right. There's not a lot of people that come in looking like that already know the Bible and then they stay in there. I didn't see that a lot.
No,
Those
people that knew the Bible didn't stay up
yeah,
in there.
yeah,
They
those
when they
people
knew the
would ask
concept of the 12 tribes, Jacob and his sons, and they understood the whole context of everything, they was like, man, please, that does not add up right there. It tells you right here, again, since the Jews rejected this understanding, from
right,
here hence lo we turn to the Gentiles. Brother, a Gentile is not an Israelite that's stuck in the Gentile frame of mind, or he had amnesia and forgot that he was a Jew, bro. That's not what a Gentile is.
right,
It was obvious when they brought Greeks into the temple, there was a different physical appearance that those Jews could recognize that these are not our people right here. What are you doing bringing them in the temple? These was not Jews that was dressed in a toga robe with the little Greek feathers on their head where they say, look at the Grecians. They can't be up in here. It's like, stop.
it was wasn't it like Nicodemus that said, "You almost convinced me to be a Jew."
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. What does that mean? And then
right.
Paul said, I worked that all men were Christians. He didn't tell them, brother, this is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just the logic of that, if you're going to go by the context, you can be someone like, I don't really subscribe to none of that stuff, but I know according to the context of your book, this is what it's talking about. That to me,
Yeah,
that's how you have to approach people.
right. Yeah, the ICGJC has a lot to answer for, and right here, this
It really is just, it's that serious too. Like, man, y'all got a lot to answer for, man.
yeah, like they just ignoring it. They refuse to talk about that. They want to make little jokes and clown people or whatever. It's like, yo, enough of that. There's real questions that I'm sure it's probably tearing members apart in there. The 2024,
2012. I will
2024,
not let go of 2012. That's something like, brother, that was said we are supposed to be a force to be reckoned with after 2012, brother. How is that possible and the leader has been taken out? That's not prophecy of 2012. You're going to be looking at Gads sitting up here filling up the church straight from the reservations with a shield of David on their neck, not saying nothing. You're going to see news anchor men on with the shield of David. You might see someone in the Obama administration walking in the White House with shields there. That's a brother. No, it's where it's at. Look, they have a DVD. They have a lesson called "It's Showtime." It's time to show what y'all are talking about.
Right. It's time, man. I mean, 2024, they had a Passover. They were supposed to have the last Passover in 2020, and they didn't even have one in 2020, which is crazy how, like the last Passover was 2019. They didn't have one in 2020. Now they have one in 2024. I thought they were supposed to have it in Jerusalem.
That they know is way smaller. They know this is the smallest Passover that they've had within the past 10 years. They know this is the smallest Passover they've ever had. Because we both know a gang of members that have left and have not been replaced just this year alone.
There's more former members than there are current members. And I'm talking about former members in the last 10 years, probably just 10 years alone. And that's I mean, there's so many brothers and sisters that haven't spoken out. They just leave and don't want anything to do with this at all, and probably still haven't figured out
just like someone said, I dare any of them to ask where the money goes. You shouldn't be afraid to ask where the money goes or any questions. Now, there's no one that's divine in there anymore. Tazadaki was the only one that Christ was dealing with. So there's no one divine in there anymore. So you should be, whether you have rank, but you're still a man. Where's the money going?
Right. And where's Ariyah? I don't see him coming. They're not showing him at all. Shar came out in this 2023 Hebrew Academy thing and had his little message to the graduates.
Brother, them showing Ariyah would be like them putting damn Biden on stage with the damn debate last night, brother. They're not gonna put Ariyah out there right now. That he's in the same situation as Joe Biden right now. Like, we don't know what this dude is gonna say right now, man. He's at that age.
Exactly.
That's all he could keep telling us in the last years. Stay in the truth. Never leave the truth. It's like that damn. See, I just watching down Lord of the Rings, or you just got this evil whispered in someone's ear. The old king that's just been totally hypnotized out of his mind. That's where Ariel was at with Taz, where he just damn. I don't know what they was going on behind the scenes, but that's all Ariel could tell us in his last days up in there. Stay in the truth. Don't never leave this truth. And that was it. And you that people go crazy and all that, like this man said something.
A Sharp says that Ari in the 2024 Passover.
Yeah, of course they're gonna pull him out. They're gonna roll him out. That's like Taz only kept Shar and Ariyah in there as like stage props. That was something he could always hold over the rebels' head and say, we got the original history, the original teachers here in this church. So I'm going to keep them on stage. I ain't going to let them say nothing, though. But I'm going to keep them on stage now here with me, just so everyone knows that your teachers are still here with me, behind me.
And then they had the hologram. Yeah. I'm waiting on that DVD to come out. We're probably going to have to wait another year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an amazing rollout. Boy, the Tazaflix, boy. I mean, it's more expensive than Netflix, but that's why I asked the members: is it really worth it? Like, if I have about 90% of the DVDs, why do I need to go and pay for Tazaflix $40 a month or $200 annually?
Right. And
that's just showing you what they really want, because look, which one are you going to go with? You're really going to just pay $40 a month? Or are you just going to say, look, they're going to force me to buy this thing anyway. I might as well just give them the $200 and be done with it for the year.
There's also like a lot of DVDs that I saw in Tazadaki's last days where he's not even showing up on camera. He's somewhere in the back room.
I mean, we'd be sitting there waiting for that dude to come out and drop a bombshell lesson at major conference. The nigga don't even show up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where it just started getting like people weren't asking. It's like, if you're the holiest man on earth, how come you're not leading us in prayers at the Passover?
Right.
Like this dude totally just stopped praying with the congregation at the Passover.
And he used to say, like, you better take advantage of these holy men being around you all the time, because there's going to be a time where we're not going to have time for nobody. It's going to be stadiums. We're going to pack up Yankee Stadium or something.
Yeah, I mean, where is that at?
Where's that?
You're going to pack out Yankee Stadium, but every time we in a venue, you was always complaining about they don't want us at the venue and they're making us leave early and nothing runs smoothly because they're interfering with it because they don't want to respect our Passovers and all this other stuff. How are you going to pack out a stadium? They won't even let you damn deal with your own private facilities you're renting out.
That's crazy.
Like, I mean, there's just so much, like you said, so much that has to be unanswered, that has to be answered for. 5 New York City blocks that cost $144 million. But yet one block in New York City goes for $2.2 billion. That doesn't add up.
And yet
But
they
that,
were expecting to leave the country in 2020 without building
I
that building.
mean, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are all over the place, and the wall is still to be built to stop y'all from leaving the country and all this. Like, there's a lot of stuff going down that just, like I said, time is just working against you. That's when people have to realize, like, the longer you stay in there, the more you just hurting yourself, because you're eventually gonna hit a brick wall trying to follow that doctrine. Like, there's no more wiggle room for us. We can't just squirm out of this no more.
Yeah.
I'm old up in here. The holy apostles have passed away up in here. We have not taken no, we're still not even in 5% of the country. Like, if you really do the math on where they're at in the United States, it's like y'all aren't even in like 5% of the country when you look at your established churches.
That's crazy.
Even place where you actually have a little congregation at, you still don't even have a church there.
Like I was saying earlier, like cities where the black population is the majority, Oakland, well, they're not the majority, but there's a lot. Oakland, where they need it the most.
Yeah.
Memphis is hard. Memphis has become like the murder capital of the United States, I think now. I think they passed Philadelphia and St. Louis.
Probably.
Where's St. Louis at? Where's
St. Louis is up there too, though.
Yeah, but like you said, also Houston. Yo, Houston is huge for GMS. IUIC, Sakari's huge out there. Atlanta, come
I
on,
mean,
man.
you could just say Texas, period. You don't even have to say Houston. You could say San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth. I mean, El Paso. The list goes on. I mean, you're supposed to have different pockets of people, even with the Northern Kingdom as well, too. So you're supposed to be in Phoenix, New Mexico. You should be all throughout California. Like, this is like, where is y'all at? Is really what people should be asked. Like, this is not what we signed up for. These are none of the promises that those of us that came in around 2003, 2004, we wasn't hearing none of this stuff. This was where we were supposed to be at. We were supposed to be totally established all over the country and world teaching this truth by now. There's no way the church should be at the stagger damn standstill it's at right now.
And the 10 tribes are the majority. But look at the graduation. I've seen maybe 2 Hispanic faces, maybe 3. Sometimes you can't tell, but I doubt it.
And that's what these brothers don't realize is it's not that the rift, it's just not the same black and brown dynamics that these brothers are trying to push that was existing in the 80s and 90s and all that. It's
Right.
still a mixture and mingle, but it's not on what these brothers is trying to kick. So I can see how the Hispanic and Latino tribes is not coming up in there like that.
Right.
They're looking at it like, I'm not gonna come into this and bow down to you niggas. So that's how they're looking at it. They're like, that's cool, you bigging up the Latinos and all that, but we see the play y'all doing that y'all trying to exalt yourselves over us, and we're not going.
Yeah, man. But this was the Hebrew Academy, the virtual Hebrew Academy, and it ended with this cat running it. This is Dawa Shalamah from Orlando.
I mean, all these brothers got that same old crookster, damn crooked smirk smile, like they're just damn selling you damn piss and calling it lemonade.
Right.
They all got that same deceptive look now.
It seems like a lot of acting, like a lot of fakeness, like faking the funk, and they trying to act hype, and you're doing a virtual party for the graduation.
Brother, I will tell anyone there's nothing wrong with speaking the truth and saying after spending all that time out there, it's hard as hell going back and having to readjust to reality in the real world when you come back out here. And I know a lot of people are terrified of that because a lot of people have burnt serious bridges with their family, friends, and all that. And your pride is just too much for some of you to go back after 20 years, 18 years, 10 years, say, man, that shit I was in was a cult, man. They was hustling us, they was doing this, and it wasn't what we thought it was. And you got to go back to them people that's damn looking at you, man. I told your dumb ass damn 10 years ago that thing was a cult. Because people ain't always gonna be as merciful and as compassionate as you want them to be either coming up out of there. People gonna clown. Like, brother, I've been told you that stuff was a bunch of BS and all that. Yeah. And you gotta suck it up.
Pretty much.
That's really what it is. You want a shoulder to cry on or something like that, you better, there's people out there for that too. But like I said, you got to just suck it up and deal with the reality. And people, they don't want to deal with that.
They don't be leaving like that because of that. I think that's another thing too, is like there's going to be so much embarrassment all around them. Like when my
embarrassment, shame, all that.
If my cousin leaves the cult, that would be.
Both know that this is some BS, and you just trapped in there, and brother, and don't know how to get out now. That's all it is now. I can look at you and see you're defeated out here.
Yeah, and then they're like secret agents because some of these people will go out and have their own business where they have to deal with white people, and they'll be all friendly and nice. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, to their own family, because they won't come in the cult, they treat them like shit. I think Jarari froze up. Soldier 144, captain of 13,000 rebels. A Sharp says, my daughter and I spoke about is currently teaming up. My daughter I spoke about it is currently teaming up with someone she didn't like to go against me. It's all sad and sick. Basil with Vinny Paz. He said, "Thanks, bro." Yeah, that's how these people are, man. They're fake as hell. I see that with my cousin. You know, like people be like, "Oh, she's such a nice girl." Like you would never think that she wishes death on all white people. Like, it's insane, like how they're double agents in the world. It's fucking nuts. I want to play that last part. I'm gonna post this actual video that I put up, but hold on. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Congratulations to all of the graduates and valedictorians. All of the hard work, all of the discipline, the focus, all of the sacrifices, it all paid off. You all should be proud of yourselves for graduating.
This sounds so fake and scripted, and with no real like emotion. This is like no natural love. This is like what the scriptures call feigned love. I don't hear sincerity in his voice. He sounds kind of fake, fronting and trying to make this exciting and authentic and real. Like this stuff is corny. Like this is very like elementary. Let's keep playing this though.
This is the program of God Almighty. Nation of Israel.
Yeah, got separated for a second. Actually, this phone died for a second.
Coming on us.
Back tapped in, plugged in.
All of the graduates and valedictorians. While they was there sacrificing their children, everybody still with me?
Are y'all still with me? He prevented Abraham from doing it because he said, "I'm not the gods of the heathen. I don't require that as a sacrifice. I don't require your son, and I'm gonna look at my son
Sacrifice.
and I'm gonna let him go down there. I'm gonna let him be sacrificed for the nation of Israel." Okay, it's getting late in the hour. Let's stop briefing these stories. And let's start going into these stories specifically. Y'all ready to get into some Pacific?
Yeah. We used to think those were some of the best classes right there, too. Them crammed 1 West 125th Street classes.
Right. This is when he's talking about the temple from the ground up, right?
Some Pacific.
Let's see here.
DEAD. Dead. That temple from the ground up, don't think that we're not going to get that. Don't think that y'all not going to see that temple erected. Everything that we want, we're going to get. We're going to get it in Christ's time.
I don't see that. I don't see that happening at all.
That happening at all. But you know, we're unbelievers now, according to them. You gotta watch what you say, because they'll take and clip that. Like right where I just said we're unbelievers now. They'll take that part right there and rip that. And see, they've acknowledged they're unbelievers now. Don't listen to anything they have to say. But I don't see that coming nowhere in y'all's future. And Christ's time is not going to be nowhere in the time they're thinking. But that's just that move the goalpost doctrine, though. That's what it is. When it goes past the time, they now create a new time conveniently, but gradually.
Yep.
Because I mean, you're talking about those are two massive buildings. You have to have the temple from the ground on up, and the school of the 144,000, or the university of 144,000. Those are two massive buildings.
Yeah, there's that. I always forget about that too. The University 144,000.
Yeah, that one gets talked away as well too, because how is the 144,000 coming? Aren't they supposed to be taught by the two witnesses? So if one of the witnesses, which is Taz, is dead, and he took that to the grave without revealing the other one, how are y'all ever going to raise up the 144,000?
Plus, the two witnesses were supposed to prophesy for 1,260 days.
Yeah,
wearing sackcloth, and according to Tazadakia, that was from November 1st, 2016, until what, April 17th, which is not. That's not even 1,260 days.
Yeah, we did the calculation on that. The numbers was off on that.
The numbers are off.
And that wasn't even something you read. You know, that was something you spoke. So it wasn't like it was a typo or something where the numbering you read was off. You spoke that, as you would say, according to the Holy Spirit, and your numbers was off.
That's crazy, man. That's
And
crazy.
it's just like people just don't want to call the bluff on this one. Like, damn, I really try to call his bluff on this one. This dude was really lying and juking us the whole time.
I wonder if they even care, like.
That's why I use that word defeated, brother. Some people are just defeated. Like they are just beat down in there mentally and they can't even get up no more. They're like, I know if this place is a lie and I spent this much time in there, I know I messed up my life. There's people that's come to that conclusion, like,
Yeah.
I know I messed up my life. Damn, I spent too much time up in here, and all my ambitions, dreams, and goals, it's going to be hard as hell or almost impossible for me to do that stuff. I came in there when I was 20. I get out when I'm 50 years old. You know how much time you wasted your whole life.
Wow.
Where you were supposed to be building, getting retirement together, building your dang generational wealth and all that, setting up your kids. You come to the realization you threw all that away and it's not going down the way you thought it was. That will make someone snap and just be like, man, I just got to keep on going up in here.
But it's
like I said, I talked to a good therapist that gave a lot of good analogies on this stuff. Like people's minds has a certain way of trying to program to help them deal with trauma. And that's what the people's dealing with. Like they have to come to the realization you've been living a lie. And their mind won't let them reset.
But this is like the battered woman syndrome, because Icgjc Shalom or whatever, he got beat up, man. Like there's brothers that get beat up and they're still in there. Like everything is just all good. So you can lie to them. I mean, if you could beat them up and they still come back, you can be able to lie to them and unfulfilled promises, unanswered demands, all this stuff, and you're gonna be just like, okay, well, whatever. You said this was gonna happen, but I guess it just didn't happen.
At some point with some of these brothers, Taz got so close to them where he showed them something where they feel he had to be sent from God. Where whatever he showed me, he's sent from God. He can do whatever to me, and that's where Hayashala was at, right? Like, listen, if he's beating me, God must really be that angry at me. That's how his logic is
Yeah.
thinking.
Wow.
Because Tazadaki has said that before to us. God is not mad at you. That's been said openly. Just like when I sent, I'm not sure that.
Like now they're gonna reverse that burden on other people to prove that they're wrong. Like he said, it like what kind of way of thinking is that? If it's not being taught in here, it's a lie. Like like I've heard Tazadaki say that. He said, I don't care if a white man tell me the sky is blue, man. I got to look up just to verify it or something. Like that.
Exactly.
Like that way of thinking is crazy. It's like, can't white people tell sometimes? Can't somebody that's not in there tell the truth about any random topic or subject? Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking
And just that's what I'm saying, is how crazy that is. That fool didn't even believe that. That's the thing,
Yeah.
that very thing he said, he doesn't even go by that. But it's just like a damn, like I've been getting on you about this whole hip hop rap type stuff. The rappers don't even live these lyrics they're talking about, but they don't
Yeah.
realize how detrimental of what they put out to a simple mind. He doesn't even go by that. I look up at the sky. If the white man tells me it's blue, I look up and do a double take. He don't go by that. But the simple-minded disciple in there is going to take that for face value and screw up their mind listening to his madness. And he
Right.
spewed out a lot of nonsense like that, where it's like, are we paying attention to what he's saying? There's no way he can believe this stuff, and this nigga ain't crazy. But we're listening to this, taking it in, and don't even realize how it's messing up your own mind.
Yeah. Like what you said. If I'm mad at you, what makes you think God is not mad at you? It's like now you don't have to prove that God is mad at you because I'm mad at you. It's like, oh, what makes you think? What kind of? That's like a argument from ignorance type of question. Like, what you?
You got brothers that when they got busted, they don't even realize why they got busted. They whatever ties busted them for, they're shook like, I don't even know what he really busted me for. But know what? God must be upset with me. So I gotta examine myself, and I'm gonna have to humble myself. I'm gonna have to let pride go. And you go into a whole self damn checking of your
Yeah.
own self. They ain't got to say
Oh,
that to you. Well, as long as you're busted, you're damn putting yourself at a mausoleum and in the lion's den and everything else. They don't even have to do anything anymore. You're doing it to yourself.
and you're gonna spook yourself out and start thinking, damn, was it because I shorted the priest fund $10?
You got people, like I said, would think they're not in that place and they're waiting for. Remember, you saw I said the Mack truck come and hit you. You got people think they're about to get hit by a Mack truck out here because they ain't in the church. Or dang, when I go to hell, I hope Apollyon doesn't hit me in the mouth too hard if I had to go to hell. Like the logic of that, you go to hell and your greeting is being a smiling demon that's muscle bound that punches you in the mouth, and that's your doctrine. That's what you actually have is taught in your church. Is when you
Crazy.
go to hell, everyone that goes to hell, with there's just a line going to hell, and everyone gets punched in the mouth by this one demon. But there's millions of people that die. Well, I'm gonna say millions. There's at least thousands of people that die at the same time, and not all of them live good lives. So that would mean a lot of them go to hell. So
Right.
they all get punched in the mouth just one by one.
Well, everybody goes to hell if you ain't in the truth.
That's what I say. The logic of the place. You have to look at your loved ones. If you're in the church and your mother is not in church, your father, your brother, sister, kids, you have to look at them every day and say, you're on your way to hell, right? Because you're not in my church. I've taught this to you. You don't accept it, and you're rolling around la 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 la, and all
Yeah.
your family is on their way to hell, and you're cool with that. Yeah, that's a twisted mind if you really think about that. The mother that bore me and brought me into this world, she's going to suffer an eternity in hell because she's not in my church.
The demon that came out of my mother's womb.
That's insane right there. It shows you how twisted your mind is, and you're in your pride where you almost are so sick you want to see this happen.
Yeah.
Not
You hate,
not sure,
hate
but
your
not
own
even
brother.
knowing, you're not even realizing what type of person you are. Most people are not able to just look at death and torture and stuff like that firsthand unless you're really sick in the mind. So for you to really think you would get pleasure of, because that ain't that what we got taught to? You'll be able to see the people that's in hell burning and all that type stuff, saying "I told you so" and all that, and they'll be able to hear you and all that.
They'll be able
Think
to
of how
hear.
sick your mind is for that. You want to see people flesh burning up and all that, so you can yell, "I told you so." It's
Yeah,
nice
that
and
was
cool up here in the
that
kingdom.
was the classic ICGJC intro with the damn Terminator 2 Judgment Day, burning all
Yeah,
of
well,
that.
that's the wrong understanding, because that's what it was, an icon I wanted to put up on there, where it's saying one of those images of the red-eyed black Jesus Christ with the perfect cut taper afro that all BHI camps use, and he
Yeah.
got this Edomite in a headlock getting ready to give him a punch, and the Edomite got all types of black eyes and all that. I was going to put that up on the screen while I was getting ready. And
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what you brothers is waiting on. But it's like, what is Christ coming back to do? Is he gonna have a sword that he takes these people out with? Is he coming with the nukes? Or is he gonna do like what you got right here? Him damn punching Edomites and DDT in them and all that type stuff. I mean, what's it gonna be? Y'all are just making up scenarios. And then how come all these images, like I said, he has this perfect thing tapered fro and always red eyes looking mad as hell every picture.
Demon. Yeah, it's like angry. It represents exactly how they feel. But it's funny that the scripture says he's gonna have a sword. It,
Exactly.
it's funny how like they try to say, "Oh yeah, a modern day sword. You got to sell your garment, and buy a sword or something like that." I think the scripture says. They would say, "Well, yeah, that's applies to today, and to modern day sword, it's a gun." But is
Yeah.
Jesus Christ going to come with a gun and bazookas? Why is Jesus Christ coming with a primitive weapon like a sword when he supposedly can rain down nuclear warfare on people and all of this and stuff? He
Well,
still carries
even when you read those
primitive.
verses in Revelations, it doesn't make sense. You're reading about chariots and horse and buggy in Revelations, and
Right,
y'all are trying to equate that to World War III modern warfare. It
right,
doesn't make sense. How, if it tells you the crows are going to be feasting on their corpses and dead horses, you can't change that to tanks and damn vehicles and all that today. No, it said horses. And what
right.
army in today goes out with horse and chariot? It's talking about that old time. We got sent off with your oppressor's religion. I just had a friend that came back from Africa, and he was just saying that, like, brothers have not traveled outside of the country and you don't know nothing and holding on to these doctrines. Other places really straight up tell you American blacks and other ethnicities over here are some of the main groups that just hold on to their colonizers' religion, and they used it to send you off.
Yeah,
That's it. It's really that simple. You can have the understand. All right, this is some ancient records that we really don't know what it's talking about. I mean,
yeah,
if Putin just opened up a vault full of all types of ancient records and pictures and all this stuff that they've had for hundreds of years, what makes you think your black ass got the whole Bible today? And they're showing you we got stuff that y'all have never seen before, and we'll give it to you when we feel like giving it to you. And you think you got the whole Bible, and yeah, brother, this piece is about to come together. We're right here, and they got a whole script you never even seen before that's missing out of your books.
right.
It's not logical. If
No.
you know it's been tampered with, but God made sure we had everything that we still needed. How do you know?
Hmm.
It's just, people just have to stop with the damn hamster wheel that we've been on. There's nothing wrong with using this understanding you got as a good moral compass for certain stuff. A lot of logic, but the
Yeah.
religious fanaticism, that's how we got sent off.
Yep.
People are trying to come with this imaginary relationship you have with God that you don't have.
That's crazy.
That's really what it is. We have to accept the fact that whatever the creator of this whole setup is, he has algorithms of just the way things work in science and the way it's set up. It's just a pattern that he has ongoing right now. And you're not in the middle of just something the way you think that's just waiting to be fulfilled. Not like that.
Hmm.
So people just like I said, that's how we got sent off in the bubble. And them sitting listening to these imaginary campfire stories like some big overgrown children. Oh, I can't wait to see what the comforter has to say tonight. Like, brother, go home and read a couple pages in the Bible, brother. That's all he's gonna do. And do some shucking and jiving and halfway entertainment and bad jokes.
Bad jokes. Yep.
I mean, he has some funny stuff every now and then, but other than that, it's like, brother, you just got put in a level of insanity where you're almost trained to laugh at him when he's telling a joke.
Yeah, people would laugh too hard, and it was
Oh,
constant.
Yashar, Yashar was definitely the notorious one. Him to Zapuan was two notorious ones. You never want them sitting behind you when that dude was teaching. Them dudes is gonna be like screaming, laughing in behind you in your ear, like, brother, this is cheerleading at this point, brother. That's not even laughing. That's just hysterical cheerleading.
You hear it in the One West days. There was a one brother that used to read Asian accent, I think. He was like, "Gun!" He's always yelling extra
Yeah,
loud.
one of them twins.
So he got the mic. He be the reader, so he got the mic, and he's already yelling. He's always screaming, "Yeah, car!"
Yeah,
He was like over emotional. It was like
that was Karatazaga Bar, not Karatazaga Bar, but Karatazaga Bar.
okay. I
Yeah,
think he had a
he had a twin brother. Neither
yeah.
one of them is up in there anymore either.
Okay, yeah,
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 both of them is out.
yeah.
That's what I'm
They
saying. The list just goes on and on of people we could name and like, yeah, he ain't there no more either. Yeah, he left, he's gone. And it's
I was thinking about a few people that I brought in, that I saw years later, right down the road from the church. It was a brother that I used to work with. I brought in like a bunch of people I used to work with, man, because I used to play the DVDs from Phillies, the CDs from Philly, the radio. I used to play that in the CD player in the back in the receiving at Burlington Coal Factory. I remember one time I had three of people on my team. I was the manager. I had three of them coming to class. One of them I saw maybe 3 years ago, and he got a tattoo of the Shield of David on his arm, but he would never come around. I was trying to get him to come around more often, and he would come here and there. And he was like Jamaican. I remember he just went with it, but he didn't want to be inside of that place. He just liked the doctrine and he liked the sound of it, and he got to put the tattoo on his arm with the Shield of David.
yeah, there was one of them crazy brothers up here in Minnesota. Telling he didn't know he got 12. Where you on your forearms, he got 12 tribes on each forearm. I'm like, bro, that's some gang stuff all day right there, bro. That's gang to the fullest right there. You just
Yeah,
run around with 12 tribes up on your arm. I was
yeah,
like, you had a lot of brothers like that. Like I said, it was a religious gang to a certain extent too. You had a lot of street brothers that found their way up in there and really didn't let go of a lot of that stuff. They just found something they could channel that aggression into.
right, exactly.
And you see a lot of brothers had discipline problems and all that because they was used to having some juice. So it's like they didn't come in first and get raised up. Them brothers would have a lot of problems up in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychological problems. Getting busted down to no rank, getting your rank taken away, and then having to go back to the Hebrew Academy, that's got to be embarrassing. And you could see their characters, you could see their whole spirit being destroyed. I can remember a few brothers that got busted down that were in there when I came in. And as I started rising up, and brothers that came in after them started rising up over them, you could see like they almost like got their whole spirit taken away and they're not even themselves anymore.
Yeah, you seen that a lot. You see a lot of brothers that got busted, thrown back in the academy, and they never rose back up to that brother they once was that was calling shots and really organizing stuff. It's just like Yeah, it's like they just got destroyed to the point where it's like, man, I'm somebody totally different.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay at this little officer 100 level they got me at now and all that. But that might have been some brothers just being smart. Like, no, I don't want all that position and all that no more. Keep me right here. I ain't got too much to do. I get to go home at this time. I ain't got to pay this much on my garment. That went on too. But a lot of
yeah,
times, depending where you was at, it really was just the first one we're talking. The whole mind just got messed up, is what it was.
yeah.
Because most brothers didn't want to lose their position. Because
They,
look,
they,
if you was a tyrant, you was gonna go through it. Them other brothers was gonna get you back. If you was tyrannical and they found a one up on you, they was gonna get you.
there's a brother in Orlando named Lakadal, who's I don't think he's in there no more, but I think he's still a believer. I heard he was out, but that was like the original cat. When I came in, he was the one that had the phone with the Orlando number. He actually had like they were paying his phone or some shit, but he had to answer the phone calls. But that brother was like the scripture brother when I came in. As the years went by and he got busted down and got his a wife taken away from him. My cousin was his wife, and Tazadakia disannulled that whole marriage somehow, um, and they were no longer married now. I remember seeing that cat like after I got raised up, the Captain 13,000, and he was still like a soldier. Something changed with that cat. Like something changed. He was not the same Lakadal that he used to be, and he was slipping with the scriptures. He was forgetting stuff. It's like he didn't even care anymore because he was just beating himself up. And those brothers are the ones that like stand out to me because I don't know. It's like a piece of them just gets taken away, and they
That's
never.
like how Shabar was before he ended up then killing himself. He was like that, where he
Yep.
just had that leadership type. He had high when I came in there. He had high position. He had that leadership of type of vibration, and when he got busted, he just never climbed back up. He was one of them ones. Rawbone was kind of like that too. Rawbone tried to hold on a little bit longer, as far as like who he was with the apostleship and all that. But
Right.
then you can just see him now where he's just kind of like, man, I'm not gonna make it back to that top position again. I'm just happy to be in the truth now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's like a bishop, a chief priest, or
I
something.
think he might be like a captain or something like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going off of one of these DVDs I saw with you holding the mic.
Yeah, no, I think a more recent one I was looking at, he's like a captain.
Wow. That's crazy because
But then you got them brothers that got busted and they had like the special privilege, because not all brothers that got busted was walking around all woe is me. Like Amonte Makapash, he was head treasurer. They didn't really, he always kept all his duties. So him being busted didn't mean nothing. Tazapa won the same thing. That was kind of the right hand. So he might have been walking around in a recruit garment, but he's still giving you all the orders with the authority of the Tazadaki behind him. So it depended on who you were when you got busted.
right.
Even me, when I got busted for my little bit of time, I told you had brothers, they really wanted to try and go there with me just cause, but
Right.
they couldn't do anything because I still had all my different duties up in
What
there, even though I had no rank. Like brothers hated that when you had your duties, but you didn't have no rank because you still had the authority to tell them what to do in your department or ministry.
That's weird. That's like Rapayala in Philly. He was constantly getting busted down to no rank. He wasn't even allowed to go to the Hebrew Academy. He was just no rank, but yet he had a bunch of duties. Man, he was in charge of a lot. But what's up with Tazapawan right now? What's he at?
He's just, last thing I seen with him was at the Archangel Awards faking in front. That's
Okay,
funny because the comedian at the Archangel Awards was calling him Zappy too. I was like, dang, that's the new nickname now. Even the comedians calling you Zappy.
Zappy.
Uh,
I didn't see that. I didn't catch that one.
yeah,
Was that that was like
that
a virtual one?
I this one might have been actual live in person one. Yeah,
Okay.
the Archangel Awards. That's another just sad. I mean, everything that we once used to do is going downhill, and then people is just in denial. Like it's like that. I was in there till 2019. Everything that we was doing prior to that and what you see they're doing now, it's just you see it's just hanging on by a thread. They're trying to do different stuff, but the whole vibration, the spirit and momentum is not there anymore.
Yeah, no, I watching their virtual. They even have like the after party, virtual after party. Watching that, I'm like, this is fake. This is like they're faking it, man. They got people together and said, "Listen, you're gonna do a live stream. Make sure you got colorful lights and just make the kids dance." And kids are just gonna do whatever.
And to be
And
honest, if the leadership in there would stop pushing Tazadakia so hard as their main centerpiece, the people would be more confident trying to go back out and rebuild and try and bring it back to, them earlier 2000 days and all that. People be more confident, but people know they're not confident saying this leader taught us everything. He visited with God and God took him off this earth and all that, gave him all this understanding. He was supposed to lead us out of America, but he got sick of COVID and died in 2020, April 1st. You're not confident going out there and telling people that stuff because they're going to have a bunch of
yeah,
questions. So
that's
if they were to kind of put ties on the back burner, they would be able to rebuild better and revamp themselves and all that. But he's the stain on the church that you really can't let go. You just can't get him out of the fabric of the church. So that's why they're just stuck where it's like, damn, I don't know how to push this doctrine.
wow. He was their blessing and their curse.
Yeah, that's really what happened. But I mean, you got people in there just crazy. I just ran into actually one of my best friends that was in the place. Well, he's still in the place, so he's
Wow.
out of his mind. But I ran into his mother, not him, but his mother, out here where I live out near the burbs in Minnesota. I'll just put it that way. I can't give out locations. These brothers get crazy and get to hunting. But out here in the burbs, I ran into his mother and all that. So she recognized. I haven't seen her probably in about a good 12 years or so. So I ended up stopping and talking to her and all that. And I asked her how her son was doing. And that's what she said. She's like, yeah, he hasn't been talking to me for quite some time now. I'm like, brother, your own mother, you're not even talking to, but it's just showing you the mind frame and hatred these brothers have. One of the things is his mother might be, in his opinion, a Gentile due to like her great, great, great grandfather. And that could be some of it too. But I was just like, yeah, you gotta let him run his course because he's just gonna be in there until he burns himself out. Right now, the more you try and talk to him against it, he's just gonna dig in deeper because that's how the doctrine has you trained. It has you trained that people are supposed to speak against it. That's more proof that you're in the truth because people are speaking against the doctrine.
Yeah, they're gonna use that when it's somebody that's like a mutt or whatever, and say, "Oh, it's probably because you're an Edomite."
Yeah.
But it's like, well, if you go by the scriptures, there's gonna be Israelites that don't believe. So, like, I think my cousin was trying to do that with her mother, who looks more white than her father. So, her mother was coming up against the cult a little bit, and yeah, I think that's what runs across the mind of people just naturally. It's like,
Well,
oh, well, probably white,
you
and it's like
know what? You got to
Hispanic
think
about
I'll
white
put
people.
it this way. You got to think about how crazy this doctrine will make you because I'm not sure how common this was in other churches, but I know at least 3 people in the Minnesota church that, after listening to enough of the doctrine, realized, damn, I'm not an Israelite. I'm actually an Edomite, according to the doctrine. And they still would sit in there in front and try and hang in there until, the rules or something just got too much and got them put out. Or one sister was in there all the way and she just ended up having cancer and passed away in the church paid for her funeral and all that stuff. And this woman, her daughter, just had to come out and say, man, my mom was white. Her grandfather was a straight up white dude, and she was terrified to tell the church that she actually was white, and she was in the church for years.
That's crazy.
So that's how crazy that doctrine can get into you, where you're like, damn, I'm actually am a nation, but maybe if I just hold on to this, I'll make it in. So it's showing how your mind can just psych you out. And then there's a young brother there right now. Well, his father and mother just got put out recently. That's why I said, Dowie, I'd get at me. When you see this, you need to get at me, brother. But his family just got put out. One of his sons, technically, is a full Edomite. This dude's saluting the Torah and all types of stuff. They know this, but they just gonna let him up in there and just chill up in there as if what you're reading in the Bible doesn't apply to you now.
Yeah, it was a
Well,
brother.
you let the tares grow with the wheat, brother. You know this dude's dad looks like Justin Bieber, brother. And you sitting out here trying to act, well, you might be, you know, let the tares grow with the wheat. Stop it.
That shit happened everywhere. Like I said it before, in Orlando, there was a brother named Zaquan. He had a white girl. He was bringing her around. And then there was a brother, or she had a son already. And I think the son told one of these brothers, I think Brooklyn Outlaw it might be, the son was like, oh, my father's white. So they were bringing this little boy. He was a little badass kid, too.
So that's that red in him, brother, that Edomite in him.
And then there's a sister who was, her last name was Patel, man. She was like from India. But because she refused to leave her husband, who was the damn pedophile, child trafficker, that cat Zion, his wife eventually left him. Good for her. But she was like one of the nicest sisters you'll ever meet, you know. But she was a Elamite, and you could see her getting uncomfortable whenever. Like I remember one time, Yashar was just going at Elamites. He hated Elamites, like just looking uncomfortable and stuff, you know. But they like, I mean, even myself, I'll question, like, you know, especially when I got put out and all of that, and I'm questioning that that was, you know, but that's how nothing could be really verified up in there because that's the whole belief, the whole faith of the Hebrew Israelite community as a whole, but the ICGJC especially. I say especially because they make more incredible claims. Like they have claims that I never heard even like crazy ass Tahar make, you know? So I mean you gotta have tons of doubt constantly up in there. But you wanna call it, man? This is a good 3-hour live.
Yeah, my phone done died up on me anyway. That might have been the sign.
I was gonna bounce when your phone died. I was actually gonna close it out, but when you came back, we got a little bit momentum. But
No, you know, there's always something to talk about. Like I said, you was having too much fun. I had to get in on this. I'm like, they're still trying to push on.
yeah.
And like I said, the ship it's just SOS. There is no steady as she goes. The ship is sunk. It's just the longer you sit in there, that's what they just have to realize, the more damage you're doing to yourself. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna want your time to rebuild. I would actually say that now that I'm over my hump, because I be telling people that you can't just sit and actually blame this place forever. Damn, as far as you not rebuilding and getting together. And when you actually start getting stuff together, I mean, it'd be all good because you're getting that new sense of freedom that you haven't had for a while. And a lot of that religious stuff these brothers be trying to kick is really just maturity. Eventually, you just realize I'm too old to be doing certain stuff I was doing when I was young. You don't need to be enslaved to a book every week to damn program yourself to live a certain type of way. But this new Hebrew Academy, I'm wondering if they did that whole thing. Now that's because that's torture when you're in a Hebrew Academy all by yourself, though. You look at these brothers where it's 1 and 2 people up in there, like I'm really sitting in class, like I'm in a class, and it's just me sitting with one teacher. This is ridiculous. Hopefully, they at least let them brothers do it online with everything being shut down, which they probably did.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. They're doing that with everything, man. Just recently, though, this year was when they started, I guess, they did the Passover, but I wonder if they did the Hebrew Academy graduation at the Passover. I'll be waiting for that DVD right there because I want to see that hologram for Tazakia, and I want to see Ariyah speaking at the 2024 Passover. If he even spoke, he probably didn't even speak.
That's what I say. They'll bring him up, but he ain't gonna be saying too much.
No.
They'll probably have Shar doing a little bit more talking on behalf of the holy apostles.
Yeah, I don't think Shar has the whatever issue, dementia, whatever. That's probably what Aria's dealing with. I think that's what I heard. He's dealing with some dementia. Aria Shar still seems like pretty sharp, but I don't trust that cat either, man. Shar.
Shar he was doing a lot more than what people speak on as well too,
Right.
and knew a lot more than what he was putting out.
Yeah.
Well, no, brother, I'm gonna let you go ahead and call it. You call him the salute or what?
I don't remember none of that stuff.
Don't ask me to call the salute. I'm gonna leave that one out there. But no, we got to come back. Like I said, there was still the unanswered demands. That one is. I was looking at something on that. They shall know I am the Lord. He said that they were supposed to go out with a list of demands. They came out with 3 demands, and they split one demand in 2. If you
Right.
really think about it, it's like one demand. Y'all split into 2 demands on the same day and just went to 2 different locations.
Right. Exactly. That's right.
But yeah, they were supposed to come with a list of demands. It was supposed to be like with Moses in the 10 plagues type thing. And I guess the demands just got cut short. Ain't no one walking around iced out with no Israeli gold because they were supposed to release all the gold. They don't have the land of Israel back. The Jewish embassy laughed at them when they came down there, and it rained on them.
Yeah.
And it was good. Let go all the prisoners. We see where that's went.
Well, we come back and do that one then, because I got to get a better version of those demands, anyways. That video. But what's the name of that video? The
They
demand.
shall know I am the Lord.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that because I couldn't even hear what he was demanding. The third demand: give us the resources. Give us the resources to build our nation. That's crazy. You can't
And
build.
then
God can't help you build your nation. You need to ask or demand a demand. Yeah, these demands are unanswered.
why are you, as the Holy God sent comforter, not out there making the demands on behalf of the nation of Israel, for one? And then the second demand of letting all the prisoners go free, the main apostle that was really issuing forth that demand actually left the church. That was Akwatazapala. So they had to cut pretty much his whole part out of the second demand anyway, because he was the one that had the most speaking time, was issuing the most on that demand.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah. So it's like that. Well, the main apostle that demanded the second demand left the church. But you
Oh,
knew he was a spy that was plotting espionage and all this the whole time. But you have him out making demands. It sounds good.
they edited him out of that.
Yeah, that's why you don't see him speaking.
Yeah, because I saw
You
that they.
see him in a couple parts like walking around, but he
Yeah.
ain't speaking. But he had a whole segment where he was speaking.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
see him.
and they totally took his segment out of that demand portion.
Yeah.
See, the media department, they're not innocent too, because they had to do a lot of editing and covering up in that media department too.
That's crazy. What they see.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
have seen. Yeah, like I said, we still don't know what was on all them laptops and all that the feds had gotten, all that he didn't want to come out. Like, we forget that he pled so that there was stuff that could not come out to the public.
Right. Exactly.
So we don't know what the video department was forced to record and all that. We don't know. And like I said, when you're dealing with traumatized people, like I said, the mind will make you close up certain things and act like you never saw it and never went through that, where it's just you have that in the compartment that only the deepest person can unlock that box.
Wow.
And I think that's what some of these brothers that's really in the works is dealing with. That's why I say y'all kind of got to stop going at the holy women, because they're just like Cassie. No one
Right.
is going to believe what your story until you fully come out and there's evidence. So people been saying Diddy was doing all the freaky, crazy stuff all them years. It was not, the proof wasn't in the pudding until Cassie came out. Until them
Right.
holy women and elect ladies really come out and say, yeah, this is what this dude was doing with us. it's gonna make y'all look like y'all lying because they're still using them, like I said, to praise this dude and all that.
Yep.
You got the one that they saying that he was dealing with. They don't sound like traumatized girls when they're up there being used on stage. They sound crazy, but they don't sound like he was doing nothing to them. So until one of them is willing to come out and say, yeah, we was doing this, it's just gonna make brothers look like they're reaching.
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting on that. We'll see. I'm not expecting none of that, but yeah. I will be. That will be a great testimony right there if one of them sisters would come out and expose that shit, because come on, man, this is that's on a whole nother level right there of evil. Now you messing with little kids. That's one thing I always say. That's like you deserve damn public execution or something like that. Like when you messing around with some damn kids, leave the kids alone, man.
But you gotta look at it this way: they're still collecting a lot of money, and how do you know they're not giving certain people enough money to make it worth their while to not say nothing?
Yeah,
you got to think about that too. There was elect ladies, his mistresses. They could be like, we want to receive the same perks and benefits we's getting under him. If that will blow up your whole operation, if we come out and say something, this whole thing crumbles.
I think
they get that evil behind the scenes, and we just don't know.
I think Tazadaki was messing around with the video chick from DMX's "How's It Going Down" video. I've seen her. She commented on one of my videos about Tazadaki one time, and I looked at her Instagram page, and I'm like, I know this woman right here. I've seen her a million times, and it just hit me. I'm like, "How's It Going Down" music video. You know the chick? I think she used to be messing with him or something. Like she knows who Tazadaki is. You know, and
that wouldn't surprise me.
I was like, I remember I wanted to ask her so many questions. I was like, let me leave this woman alone.
Should have followed up.
Yeah, I should have, man. I should have. I don't know if I sent her a message or not, but I'm gonna look into that again because I know she commented on one of my Tazadaki videos.
Right.
I'm gonna look
That's
her up.
crazy. Well, all right, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and call it one. We then had a good one, and we just got to follow back up on the unanswered demands, the 20. I mean, the list just goes on and on. You can talk about this place forever, but it's just like you just got to come with a couple good more final nails in the coffins until something else arrives. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like I said, you can't sit and argue with crazy delusional people forever. Like I said, you're not gonna stop and talk to the delusional bum that's telling you he sees the pixies floating around in the sky and all that. You're not gonna tell my brother, you got to stop seeing the fairies and all that. You realize he's just gone. And
Right.
these people, they're almost at that point where it's just like, I know this is a very logical show I'm putting out here, but y'all are just too gone to even take any of this stuff in.
Yeah. I know it doesn't go, without what's the word? I don't even know. I can't even think. I'm a little tired, but I know that it does help people out, even if it doesn't hit them right now. I have some hope. I have some hope that maybe in the future, in very near future, that place is going to be down to its last damn delusional members. Because how long can you deny reality, man?
That's true. That is true. Because sometimes reality is going to force them out of there where it's like they don't even want to leave. They're just in a situation where they're forced out of that place.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see as time moves on. Yeah, I got some other people up here in Minnesota. They're a little bit shy right now, but I got some other people that may be wanting to come on soon and give their testimonies of things too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fresh backstories up in there. That's why it really doesn't get old, because people do leave there consistently. And there's, like I said, these little views and people looking at these things goes up every day. So people is looking at this stuff.
Oh yeah. All right, bro. So good talk.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, brother. I'm damn about to wind this joint down.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, brother, you got to get on I'm gonna get on you on this view at these shows and all this other stuff later. We'll leave it at where it's at now, but
Tell the listening audience good night. San Miguel TV. Also, congratulations on the monetization, brother. That's big things right there.
Oh yeah, I got my first YouTube check, man. Good stuff.
See, congrats. See, you're getting paid to do what you love. I gotta get a now. That is what we have to build on too, because you know me and all these civil rights debates and all the dang racial baiting and all that stuff. We gotta get some shows on them debates too, because I know a lot of y'all be seeing the posts that Miguel be putting nothing. They be getting mad at you. They be getting upset with you. I be like, I love this stuff. This is just reality talk, and people gotta learn to deal with this without all the emotion. So that got to be something else we damn collab on just some good social standings dang shows.
Right.
We both tired as hell trying to making up titles for shows and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's like the racial stuff, man. Like that stuff is it's one of the most interesting topics because it seems like it's one of the hardest things to get through without hitting emotions, you know, and I think I'm past that. You can call me whatever.
You already know me. Look, I tell everyone, I'm not like them. I'm one of them. I'm not like them type.
I know that's a fact. I could tell. I knew that right away when I spoke to you the first time we spoke. But this won't be the last time, though, man. I got to get you back, Gerari.
All right, it's all good. All good. All right, well, we're going to tap out, tell the listening audience good night. Thank you for listening to our dang jargon and all that good stuff we've been going on for the past damn 3 hours. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Yeah, I'm going to tap back in soon. Like I said, we'll catch up with you on the morning walk and all that. Like I said, we're going to keep pushing.
I might do that. I might not do that tomorrow, but maybe on Sunday.
See, we got to get on. You got to stay consistent, brother.
I know. I'll be back on that real soon, but I appreciate you coming through again. And everybody that came through San Miguel TV, I'm out. Catch you on the next one. Good night.
Right. Salute everyone. Shalom, all that peace and good stuff y'all be saying.
Have a good night. Shabbat shalom and yabba-dabba-doo. All right. All right, peace. Thank y'all for coming through. Catch you on the next one, all right? Much love.